Okay, good evening, everybody. Um, I wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming tonight, but I don't know. I felt kind of like I wanted to. I'm actually going to tab out of this for a quick second because there was something I would like to verify. I believe there is Twitch integration for this game. Yes, there is. All right. Um, but yeah, so as the title might indicate, it's my birthday today. I managed to get a little bit of stuff done, not quite everything that I wanted to do, but my gift to myself was a membership to the National Gallery. I didn't get to see all of the paintings that I wanted to, but I did go to the there's a Gauguin presentation. I wish I knew art better than I actually do. I've been reading Ernst Gombrich's book, The Story of Art. So this has been sort of a way that I can, I can keep it as more than just sort of book learning. I've been making an effort to go out to more galleries and experience firsthand what some of these things are, and hopefully, if I rub enough artworks, and security doesn't drag me out too many times, I will. I'll learn a thing or two. And then I also went to the War Museum. My intention was to actually go and check out the library, but regrettably I forgot that it was closed on Monday, so I wound up wasting a bit of time there. And then one last thing, I don't know 100% if I'm going to be able to do this on the stream, but quite unexpectedly, I got an Xbox, specifically an Xbox One. Now, it's worth remembering that I have not owned a console since the Wii, and then before the Wii, I had a DS, and I believe that is my history of console ownership. So, this thing came with Gears of War 4, which I understand is available on PC, so that's not big on its own. But the huge news for me on this is that I will now be able to play an NHL game, which has not been available on PC forever. So I actually went out and bought myself a copy of NHL 19. I got it from... we don't really have GameStop here in Canada. We have a place called Electronics Boutique, and they wanted to sell me, one of the pre-owned copies, and then of course insurance to protect against disc scratches and whatnot. But I went for the full price because I actually would like the people who made the game to be... I had a friend who worked on this actually. They're no longer at EA, but this is my way of supporting the fine people who went into it. So I'm really excited to play a hockey game on this thing. I've not actually opened it up yet. I don't have a TV, but I believe my monitor should be able to hook up. But with that in mind, I am actually a little curious what I should be playing, specifically things that are on Xbox One that either play better on Xbox One or are only available on it. I really don't know that much about console gaming, and I would definitely be very interested. The only thing that I can think of offhand, which is sort of a must-play that's only available on consoles, is Red Dead Redemption, which I'm interested in playing, but I'd love to know if there's some other things that I need to experience. So, on top of that, my other birthday gift to myself was to hang out. So this was a genuine surprise. I'm very grateful to the person who gave it to me. I believe they have asked to remain anonymous. It's not anybody related to the stream or anything like that. But they are aware that I do these streaming things, and they said they're particularly interested in this helping me out on the stream. And while I don't have a direct integration into my... I don't have like a capture card or something like that, I'm debating about acquiring one, and failing that, what I might try and do is look at what the streaming capabilities off of it are, and try and see if there's some things that I can do with that. I'm definitely interested in showing you guys how I react to hockey games, because so far only the Eyes of Sin has seen that. Now we are here for Hand of Fate too, but I figured I'd explain a little bit about some of the birthday things, seeing as well, it's, you know, I was originally not going to stream, and I thought what I'd do is I'd share the time with you anyway. So I also had a very enjoyable trip to Montreal. There was one meeting I was hoping to have that didn't turn out, but I did get a lovely opportunity. I wasn't actually originally going to mention who it was, but they did tweet it out. So I got a chance to meet Lottie from Weather Factory and Haley from Mediatonic. And they are two incredibly cool people. I have a very bad habit that when I get very excited about a topic, I tend to talk a little too much. But I think they were very deft at sort of navigating through that. I learned quite a bit about sort of behind-the-scenes gaming stuff, and I got a chance to share some things that I've been working on, which... The enthusiasm that was shown for it really inspired me to work a little bit harder on it, and I'll be sharing that all with you later. And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm streaming today, because I thought, I was like, you know what, it's good to kind of keep some momentum going for this stuff. And so I decided, it's like, I had a number of games that I really wanted to cover, and I decided to go for Hand of Fate 2, because first of all, this is a great series. Defiant Dev did a wonderful job with it. I've only really played the first one, but Johnny Big Time gave me this as a gift quite some time ago, and I've always meant to cover it on stream, and it's always wound up sort of snowed over by some other things. So it's been a little while since I played it. I don't have any of the DLC for it or something like that, and I thought if it comes down to it, maybe I'll just do a whole bunch of different games which I haven't gotten around to, or failing that, what I might do instead is I'll just sit down and do a nice big session of Hand of Fate 2, because I know it's a game that I've really wanted to put some more time into. I already know it's good, and then I was surprised to find out I'd forgotten about this. There's Twitch integration. So without further ado, let's get started, and we'll carry on.
Your memories are fading even now, gone to form the soul of the game we play.
I'm not sure, MRA.
These
We'll find out
pieces
together.
are new, as are the stakes. Life, death, and vengeance. We must ride, for time is short, and you have much to learn. Make your first choice, and let us set these wheels in motion once more.
I'm a boy.
These cards represent your history and our game. We know where they end, for you are here. Therefore, these cards must guide you to my side. Let us see what the journey holds.
The Fool.
The Fool steps into nothingness, because they know no better. In the same way, you must step into the void. You are a blank slate, and together we will write your history.
Forest ambush. You've stumbled many miles through this forest in search of the thieves who robbed you. Though exhausted and hungry, you are determined to reclaim your father's amulet. A quick introduction for those of you unfamiliar with the first game. The first game kind of has this... I don't even know if roguelike is the... No, I think roguelike works. So it... you sit down with this dealer, and cards are drawn, and it'll sort of create this randomly generated dungeon. Each card is going to give you a new encounter, and every once in a while it will be some kind of a combat encounter, and essentially you, in between sort of your resource management, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, we've got life, food, and wealth. What you're doing is you're progressing through the dungeon trying to maintain your resources. So if you remember something like FTL, where you're trying to keep the ship from falling apart and not running out of fuel, same deal there. But of course, in FTL, you also have those individual space battles, and this is sort of it's a third-person perspective hack and slash, which is really satisfying, and that's kind of the basics of the game. I'm not as familiar with the changes in Hand of Fate 2. We're going to be finding that out, but I remember the first time I beat the dealer, I was pumped. They do a really good job of building up the final battle. Oh yeah, and of course in each dungeon you're trying to overcome some boss. So. Okay, the Four of Greed and the Leader. You finally catch sight of the thieves hacking at a large tree and arguing among themselves. We can move closer to eavesdrop and keep your distance. So this, I believe, is one of the Twitch integration bits, so I believe we can call a vote. Yep, here we go. So if you want to move closer, you can type number 1, and if you want us to keep our distance, number 2. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to vote on this too. All right. Oh, this is really cool. All right, everybody wants to move in closer. We have consensus, so I got to do number 2. No. All right, this is cool. I'm liking this.
Every element of the game has been improved, even those that seem at first glance familiar.
Creeping forward,
Do not worry. You will soon understand the nuances.
Hey, Ed Baver. Well, it seemed to get... Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good point, because I don't know... I suppose we should have gone through... It should detect whether or not there's the preceding one or not. But I'm sure when we have some differences between everyone, if there's some density that doesn't line up with the way that people were entering things in, we'll figure that out at the time. So creeping forward, you overhear their leader spouting orders. It's simple, he says. The idiots walk down the road, you push over the tree and jump out. They'll be too scared to put up a fight, and we'll get rich. Why don't we just jump out and stab them, one retorts. Another hooded figure chimes in. Yeah, corpses don't put up a fight either. Frustration rises in the leader's voice. The Empire doesn't care if a few farmers lose some sprouts, but drop a corpse on the royal road and the place will be filled with soldiers before they've even spent the coin. We don't need that trouble. Now quiet, here they come. You soon spot a group of farmers coming around the corner, bringing their wares to market. 3 of toil. The thieves fell the tree into the path of the unsuspecting farmers and leap out, weapons brandished. Give us your food! Alright, voting time. Our options are 1. Leap to the farmers' defense, 2. Offer help to the farmers, warning them that it won't come for free, and 3. Help the thieves with their extortion. So... I'm going to let you guys do some votes, and then I'm going to test... Alright, so looks like everybody's been managed. I'm going to put my vote in here as well. I'm also going to adjust sort of the reactions. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like you need to put the number sign... Yep, it looks like you need to put the number sign in front for it to be registered, so... so I'll give you guys a chance to catch up. And again, I'm not always going to go with what people vote, but we're going good guy system chalk this time around. We will leap to the farmer's defense. You draw your weapon with practiced skill. Well, you hear the leader's voice. You lads handle this. I'll meet you when you're done. I'm really liking the new effects. Thug. Violence for the sake of violence and theft for the sake of money. Thieves attack frequently and can evade standard attacks, making heavy weapons less effective. Okay, so middle, block break, space, evade, left control, run, F is the finisher. Alright, this is going to take a little getting used to, but I think I should... Oops. So if you defend on time, you get to sort of do a combo. I'm a bit of an idiot when it comes to this stuff, so... So as you can see, my health is down because I took a few hits during that. The farmers fumble in their haverstacks in gratitude. They thank you, adventurer. I'm sure that they took our that after they took our food, they would have taken our lives as well. Yeah, it definitely does. I remember in the old one, if you timed it correctly, you'd actually get sort of like a counter as well. So. Alright, so we got some food. Now, if memory serves, by moving from slot to slot, as long as I consume food, my life will go up. So this isn't the end of the world. So you fall on the food with a sigh, shoveling bread in your mouth to quell your hunger. Your satisfaction lasts only a moment before you realize your father's amulet is not among the takings. You consume one food. The leader must still have it. You set to your feet, determined to find him. Find the leader of the thieves and retrieve your amulet. So let's take a quick look at the map. Alright, well, I suppose it's exactly like I thought it would be. So we don't really have anywhere to go but the next card, so we'll select that. Nothing else for me to click on, I don't think. Oh, looks like you guys get to pick some different different interactions. Okay, while enjoying a moment beside the fire, you spy a strange figure approaching your camp. It's a goblin dressed in what must pass for goblin finery. From beneath a filthy fox pelt serving as an ill-fitting wig, the goblin winks at you with wild red eyes. Aha! I've been roaming for hours trying to find you. We must get over this over with quickly if I have any hope of getting to all the people on my list before sunrise. It lowers a sack from its shoulders. Now, from within my sack, I can conjure whatever your heart desires. Enderlord, thank you very much for the follow. The goblin's voice trails off as he examines his sack. Well, I could, if there wasn't a blooming great big hole in it. His head disappears entirely into the bag until his bulbous nose protrudes from the breach. A new plan, then. The goblin pulls out his last trinkets. So, warrior's axe, warrior's sword, or shield. Let's see what the axe gives me. So, heavy weapon critical strike requires 5 hits. Perform a powerful strike that causes 250 damage on a single target when activated. Armor breaker against corrupted enemies. Bash causes additional damage to armor. And heavy bash deals additional damage to armor and enemies while they block. Susceptible to evade, cannot riposte. Soldier's sword, critical strike, riposte. Okay, so this is more tempting, but I think I might already have them. And shield reflect, one-handed weapon required. Use defend to reflect attacks from ranged enemies. Now, I'm curious whether or not I can see my my inventory, because it's possible that I already have a soldier's sword. But let's pick this one. And actually, you know what? Let's go for the axe. It doesn't mean that I need to equip it. Neglected sword. Okay, so... yes, we will equip it. Enderlord, I loved the first game, but I've not played the second yet, so we're just getting started with it. I'm probably going to suck at the first little bit, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So, a wise choice. Now I must go. There are many others I must visit before I can rest. The goblin runs off into the night, his foxwig flapping in the evening breeze. You can change your equipment in the inventory. Maybe I could have hit that beforehand, but that's fine. I mean, it's not the end of the world that I don't have that sword. There'll always be other opportunities for it. All right, on we go.
This card has a token. Can you find it?
Okay, so in the first game, tokens would basically be, there's a certain outcome that you can get in the event, and it would, basically if you did the event quote-unquote properly, you would get a token. So sometimes you'd meet vampires, and if you gave up some blood, you'd get a token, for instance, and then you'd get some later things go, you'd be able to unlock things later on as a result of it, so... Your journey through forest is interrupted by an inquisitive child. Are you searching for the forest folk? My uncle says that they used to walk these woods giving out gifts. I want to find one and ask for a lemon cake. As they dash off, you peer under a nearby log. The child shouts back, "Remember, if you meet the forest folk, give me a lemon cake." In the other direction, an eerie song hangs in the air. You attempt to find its origin. Oops. You spend hours traveling in circles until night falls, bringing an unnatural silence to the forest.
Nothing could be more fitting now than meeting the mage who started this all. Or at least, started it all for you.
A trail of fallen trees and distraught farmers leads you to the thieves who had stolen your amulet. It seems that their infighting has only gotten worse. The bandits surround their former leader, weapons drawn. Everyone will get their fair share. There's no need for violence, the leader implores. Who ever heard of a thief talk about fair shares? Spits one. You turn up and boss us around. We've barely stabbed anyone. It's been days since I've stabbed anyone. Days! The leader notices you approaching and waves you over. As much as I'd love to continue this discussion regarding stabbings, I'm afraid I have urgent business with my associate here. As he greets you, he whispers, "Keep me alive and there'll be plenty of gold for your trouble." So tell him the gold cannot replace the amulet he stole, or tell him he will pay in blood for his thievery. So you guys get your choice for votes if you want. I'm still deciding on the best way to do the voting and all of that, but I think I'll probably what I'll do is at the beginning of each encounter, I'll hit the button and then I'll leave it open for a little bit as I read it, and then I'll push ahead. So he holds up a finger. First rule of negotiation: never let them know what you want. Kill my associates, and I will gladly return your amulet. Ever reliable, the thieves draw their blades to mug you. Their leader hurries away to hide. Give us your stuff or we'll stab you up, growls one of them. You consider your options. We can fight and we can give them all the food and gold. I know what I'm picking, but I said I would be nice and let you guys express your opinions. Again, please don't feel too put out if I don't keep the voting up for a really long time, or if I do otherwise, but I want to try and do a little bit more in terms of Twitch integration with things. So thieves evade heavy weapons more frequently. You can change equipment in the inventory. That's definitely given me a big signal to switch. So even though it's a neglected sword, this is definitely the better option. Or at least I don't want to find out how the evasion works yet, so. All right, let's see if I can get a little bit better at my my dodging. Okay, now I think that was an opportunity. Oh, it was a finisher. Okay. That's awesome. Oops. I'm getting. I could have remapped the controls, but I'm still getting used to the. I'm not blocking on time. I think I'm just not paying attention, but. Enderlord, I know you're trying to be helpful on that. One thing I do need to let you know on this stream, I really do not react well to being told how games work. So I know I said that I'm new to this, but I really like learning games for myself. So if I can just ask that you let me learn this stuff on its own. I know I appreciate a lot of this stuff comes from enthusiasm about games and wanting to share it with people, but it is something that has usually been a source of a lot of friction for me. So if I can just ask you to pull that back a little bit. If I need help, I 100% ask chat for that, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah, no need to apologize. You didn't know. But I wanted to, I maybe just wanted to get that out of the way at the beginning, because it's one of the things that sometimes has caused some streams to be a little off. I completely appreciate you being here, though, and certainly I don't want that to be something that'll ruin the experience later on. So thank you for being a good sport about that. With the battle resolved, the thief leader nods in approval at the carnage before him. He holds out a hand. His name is Malacalypse, bard extraordinaire. His smile fades under your withering glare. Sensing your anger, he raises his hands in surrender. Wait, let's not be hasty. We're on the same side here. I'm an upstanding citizen just like you. I've been working with the thieves, yes, but only for the greater good. No, really, they were killing people before I came along. I know it seems bad, but look. He pulls out an amulet from his pockets and presses it into your hands. All is forgiven, yes? You stare at the amulet. It does not look familiar. Oh, Malacalypse says, scratching his head. He opens a small satchel. So which one's yours? Alright, we can choose the lion, the pharaoh, the ox, or the raven. And I'm assuming it'll tell us. Oh, it doesn't say what these things are. Interesting. So I think I'm going to go for the eagle. Okay. The eagle amulet. That suits you. Very familiar facial structure. Say, you know what? I'm lonely. You're lonely. We should work together. You have befriended Malacalypse the trickster. We should probably get to know one another, seeing as we're going to be friends for life, Malacalypse says. Tell me, where are you from? Now we fight all of the countries to find out where we're from. Oh, maybe this is character creation? Neat. I have a tendency to go for like defaults, but oops. Sure. Oh, you can change hair color too. Neat. I think I'm gonna sit mostly with defaults for now. Okay, and we can change whichever we want, but I picked eagle in the first place, so we'll stick with that. And outfit colors. This one I might go for some variety with. Nope, I'm sticking with the defaults on that too. We can change it up in terms of appearance on the next run, because if memory serves, I am going to die a lot in this. From the Eastern Belt, huh? You don't say. Good sorts from the Eastern Belt. Very trusting. Oh, by the way, I mean, we, friend, owe money to Vignus of Thieves Guild. He's quite angry at us. We should journey to the Mire Bridge together to appease him. Some gold might help. Although, come to think of it, I'm rather busy, Malacalypse eyes a pretty trader hiking up the road. So it'd be best for you to get the gold, and I'll meet you there. Alright, I think this might be the next level. I know in the old one you could kind of go up and down levels, but right now we're just moving forward. It's going to be after the next encounter that we get some variety in terms of where we can move.
Smaller pieces of our fates shattered into fragments. Collect enough, and your reward will come in time.
You enter a competition of strength at a fair. A gold prize is available to the winner. So I think what I'm getting from the implication of what he said here is that these are like tokens, but I need to get a number of them before I actually get the money. In the first round of the competition, your opponent is the diminutive Roland, a halfling from the traveling troupe of acrobats. A traveling troupe of acrobats. Okay, we got dice now.
These dice are another small game embedded in our game.
Okay, so target 10. Wow.
Victory. You are learning.
I'll roll it again to fail. Roland is no match for your strength. He gives a disappointed backflip off the table and collects his meager winnings, then cartwheels out the door. Oh, okay. So we got the money right away. You take your reward from the purser on the way out of the tavern. When you return, you will compete in the next round for a larger prize. Okay. So I can go north, I can go east. Either way, I'm going to wind up inefficiently using a slot, so...
The roads have become even more deadly since the Empire has come to power. Despite their promises of the opposite.
A distressed damsel. The road ahead is blocked by an overturned carriage and a woman calling for help. Please help, she cries. I've been robbed by a band of thugs. Is there anything you can do? We can assist the distressed woman, dice target of 12, or we can refuse to help. And I am definitely going nice guy. I'm going to refrain. So now that we know that you have to put the pound sign in front, I'm going to refrain from tossing my own votes inside. But let's see. I know I don't need to shake it all around, but it makes me feel better. Interesting. So we actually have a higher I was going to say a target 12 I think is slightly lower than what the expected value would be. But if we get to reroll, it's better. Oh, we just made it. Okay, cool. Thank you, the woman says as you help her from the carriage. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. Oh, I thought it was going to be a kiss. You thank the woman and continue on your way.
Celebrations in aid of what? You see how quickly the actions of the usurper are turned into tales for children.
Nearing the sleepy hamlet of Dulwich, you find the villagers in the midst of some kind of celebration. Much of the activity concerns a large paper and wood statue depicting a fearsome warrior looming triumphantly over a prone lizardman. We can follow the parade, we can ask a local about what's going on, or we can carry on our way. I am slightly inclined towards 2, but I will give you guys a couple of seconds to put in your votes if you're so inclined. And this, though I've found out the exact point of the voting now, it's going to be to get me a sip of my coffee. All right. A friendly stable hand explains, in a bygone age, our town was beset by half-men, half-lizards. There was no food, no respite, and very little hope. By the way, hearing him refer to the usurper, we did fight lizard men in the previous game, so this might be a reference to the events of the previous game. But salvation came in the form of a nameless warrior who hunted the beasts for little more than a handful of coins and a crust of bread. He smiles warmly at the festivities. We honor the warrior like this. The statue is filled with food and gold, and we take turns smashing it to bits with a club. You're welcome to join us, and you may keep whatever falls out. Speaking of, let's switch to the warrior's axe. All right, the parade and statue are winding their way into the town and almost out of sight. We can carry on our way, or we can follow the parade. Again, I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee, but I'm pretty sure what I want to do with this anyway. Coffee is lawful good. Yeah, everybody. I'm pretty sure I know what most of the votes are going to be. It's a little bit like... Actually, I know this is going to be delaying some of the game content. Planescape Torment is obviously a very well-regarded game, and so personally I was very disappointed by... Now, I've not actually finished Torment, but there was a remake of it called, I think it was like Torment's Tides of Numenaria, and one of the things that bugged me about it was actually right up at the start. They start you with a dream, and I followed very naturally what I do in games when there is no indication of what's going to happen. So like when you're given 2 options here, you got number 1, number 2. It's like follow the parade, and that's saying something will happen. Well, why do we play games? We play games so that we have interesting encounters. And then carry on your way is less likely to be voted for because obviously that means things won't happen, and then you're asking why am I playing the game here? Hopefully you'll be able to change, Ed Baver, if there's a problem, you might be able to lower the quality settings. I should have transcodes. I haven't done anything to the quality settings. Let me know if they aren't available, by the way. So one of the problems with Numenaria, Torment Tides of Numenaria, was at the very beginning, I don't know what's going on. You have this dream where you're basically falling through the sky, and I'm like, all right, let's embrace the madness. Let's see where this is going. I know I'm going to, like, under normal circumstances, I would be falling to my death and just be splattered against the ground, so let's keep doing that.
And we have things to do.
Don't tell me what to do, the dealer. And it turns out that what happens in the game if you do those options is you die. You die in the opening sequence if you just follow the madness and sort of embrace the falling, which annoyed me a lot. And then the game just didn't interest me that much, so I'll try it again later. But yeah, so for the same reason that I think there's 100% here, I was a bit disappointed by the Torment follow-up. The parade ends at the town square. You watch as the villagers take turns smashing the statue with a club and gathering the food and gold that spills out. A local notices your interest and asks if you would like a turn. So again, we can join in or we can watch a local go first. I'm gonna like take my axe to the thing and take everything up. They're gonna get pissed off, but you know what? Let's just join in. Okay. Well, I didn't get the huge success, but the club strikes the chest of the treat-laden beast, and some gold falls out. You survey the spoils and try to scoop them up before anyone else can. Oh! It is possible to know where the card is going to go, but I'm really bad at keeping track, especially when I play this on stream, or at least the old game on stream. I'm really bad at keeping track of where the card is in the shuffle, so. You scramble to gather the bounty you unleashed. Would you like to try and gather more? I don't know. Should we be greedy, chat? Number 1 for yes, number 2 for no. All right, I'm gonna... Oh, we've disagreements. I'm gonna go yes. You survey the spoils and try to scoop them up before anyone else can. All right, so more chances for failure here. Before you can gather anything, a young child shovels the bounty into a basket and scampers off. With your turn over, you leave. All right, so one of the things I'm conscious of is something's going to happen to me in 2 moves. So we're going to do 1, which is going to take us up to 7, and then we're going to do number 2, which takes us back to the location. That'll give me a position of safety relative to where I might be later. So we've got 1 down.
Water is a symbol for the many thoughts that churn beneath the surface. What is it you're thinking of?
Well, this is one of the...
concern is worrying at your mind.
This is one...
fall into the waters beneath.
This is one of the things that's kind of interesting, MRA6, is that the way that the game is set up, more encounters get... At least the first game, more encounters get added to the deck over time. So the first time you encounter something, you don't actually know what's going to happen. And it creates this great tension the first time you do an encounter. And then as you start finding more familiar ones, you'll know. But again, the game always gives you new things to enter in. So in some cases, it's deliberately ambiguous as to whether or not it will hurt you if failure comes up. But I don't know. I tend to very much be on the side of like, let's find interesting things to do. While crossing the stone bridge, you suddenly find yourself confronted by a villainous band. 4 of greed. You could stand and fight the fiends or throw yourself to the mercy of the river below. So we can leap into the river or we can stand and fight. I am inclined for standing and fighting, but I am interested in what chat says, so feel free to pound number 1 if you want me to do what I want to do, and number 2 if you think you know better. Now, one reason you can see not to join the carnival is hoping for a more entertaining encounter. True. All right, we'll see whether or not I get any better at combat. I don't know, 62 is above average, so. So I'm going, against my better judgment, I am going to try going for the Warrior's Axe on this one just to see what the consequences will be of using something heavier. Oh, it's a two-handed one. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit better at dodging, I think. Oh wow, this thing is really slow. But I can reply. Oh wow, this thing. This is glorious. Yeah, we're sticking with the axe. Oh, this thing's awesome. When I encounter some range guys, this is gonna hurt, but having spilled your enemy's blood, you search the bodies for anything useful. Not exactly Valken. I think I did. I got tagged once, but right.
Simple defense. You can do better given time.
Yeah, we'll store that. And we found a health potion, so we're doing quite well for ourselves. All right, so looks like the vote came in. I believe there's a new vote coming up, so you can cast your vote with a pound A, B, or C. You can also see in the top right corner a reminder of what will be coming up. You can do that anytime that you want, and looks like this time they're actually going to give you some...
Here we come to the end of the beginning. Running errands for mages. This will become a theme, I dare say.
This will give you some options to give me good things as well as bad things. So if you feel particularly hard done by, if I ever sassed you for backseating or anything like that, you get to go for the -5 food. And if you think you've nothing but peaches and cream to say about me, then you can live some. Well, this is just it. You can it's a little bit like Choice Chamber, where you can deliberately hurt someone. All right, you arrive at Mire Bridge as the sun begins to dip below the horizon. All right, and we got a vote coming down as well, so you can do whatever you want. Thanks, Proteus. You find Malaclips perusing a selection of cheeses by the market. Aha! If it isn't my good friend the adventurer. Did you bring the gold? Vignus has arrived to meet at the graveyard. So we can go to the graveyard or keep exploring. I'm inclined to go to the graveyard because there's really nothing else for us to explore. And you wonder whether the spot was chosen for its seclusion or for easy body disposal. Vignus meets Malaclips with a sly grin. Looks like you turned up after all, and with a lackey in tow. We had our doubts, you know. Vignus cracks his knuckles and giggles. Well now, Malaclips, convince me. What's to stop me from cutting off your head today? So we've got the it's either the Anarchist of Greed or Greed of I think it's Anarchist of Greed, but... You reveal your gold as Malaclips scrounges in his pockets for some too. The heavy satchel of riches lands at Vignus's feet with a thud that echoes through the silence of the cemetery. You lose 35 gold. That's our deal done, Malaclips says, worry obvious in his voice. No need for any further troubles. I'm sorry, Mal, Vignus grins. You should have known that the guild was never going to let you pay with cash stolen from our members in the first place. Alright, so it looks like we're up against 5 people, 4 thieves, and then the boss. So I suspect it'll be tougher, MRA 6, but it is a tutorial, so it probably won't like destroy us. Okay then. Vignus the Crazed, treacherous and greedy, a dangerous combination. Anarchists throw flaming bombs that cause fire damage. Your armor is of no use to you here. Alright. So I'll try and get rid of the ads. Run for your lives! Oops. That was almost flawless. Oops. The game is definitely very merciful at letting you know the problems that are going to be coming up. Oops. Alright, I blew that one, but... That's a very satisfying finisher. Malaclips scratches his chin thoughtfully. It seems that you could do with someone savvy to help you navigate these tricky matters of diplomacy. Like maybe killing everyone wasn't the best idea. Come, let us discuss our partnership over an ale or two. All right.
Well done.
Loot box
You've
time.
cleared the first challenge, and now we can move on to the next.
For completing the Fool, we got a Cardinal Blade and the Bastion of Purification. Market Thief, Tarts, Pies, and Exotic Lies, Fork in the Road, and Arm Wrestling. So based on the previous... game, and I'm sure that Enderlord would be able to verify this. I believe the way that these will work is that these will be shuffled into the deck, and so these are encounters that I can potentially see later on inside the game, but it's not guaranteed that they will emerge. And for befriending Malaclips, not that we had a choice, we've got Malaclips' Problem and the Trickster. And finally the token, which I don't think we actually earned through actions. I think that was always in the tray, but... Shadow beasts have entered the realm. A friend in need and the peasant's son. So
Welcome to my challenges. Together we will traverse 22 paths of wisdom and despair in the hope of awakening.
Yeah, so like I was gonna say, I am a huge fan of the first game in this, and based on this like little tutorial, this little tutorial experience, I am very much I'm very much sort of on the spirit of like, yes, this is a solid game, and if you haven't played the first one, you can probably just jump into the second one right away, but. Johnny Big Time! Okay, guys, you know what? I have not... it's all good. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, I don't want to cast people out for the backseating thing, because for some people... Like, this is the thing about Twitch integration, right? For some people, that level of interactivity, including explaining the game, is how they enjoy it. And it's a lot more about finding a stream that works well for you than it is to be here. Now, again, we don't know that for sure. I mean, it's just if people don't respond. But it's one of the things I want to do is that when people do want to talk about the game, I want to try and signpost what is okay to talk about as much as the others. So, and if other people want to remain quiet during it, that's totally fine too. But yeah, like this is the thing, right? Is that I don't want to like cast someone out and put a flaming sword at the door. But I also want to be really upfront about saying that things that they might enjoy are something that will make it less enjoyable to me. Because one of the things I was going to do for my birthday is sort of like jump around to a bunch of different games and try things out. I'd love to do some more Night Team 4. I'd love to try some BattleTech. I'd love to do some XCOM. Like there's lots of different things that I can do right now. But one of the reasons why... Hey, hello, Karosh and Memitone. In Underlord's Place, each challenge has a set of cards that they use, set that they add gradually in the ones that are unlocked. Thanks. And yeah, I mean, in the end, like, it's one of these ones where I say, when I'm trying to answer a question inside of chat and I say, well, here's my understanding that I didn't know about. Like, there's obviously the difference between... I don't know this and let's see where it's going, and saying, I think this is how it works, this is how it worked in the previous one, but, there's somebody who might know a little bit better than me. But anyways, thank you very much. Like I said, I had a wonderful time in Montreal, and I got a chance to meet really cool people. We actually talked a little bit about backseating and what it means to have fans of a game inside of it. It's really interesting to get kind of developers' perspectives on this. And thank you to you as well, Ben Penn. Today is my birthday, and I wanted to take a minute for the shout out for Johnny Big Time, because I don't know if you remember this, Johnny. You gifted this game to me for my birthday way back when, and I'd always meant to do it properly on stream, and I like it wound up being on that list of stuff that I always wanted to do and never got a chance to do. So I haven't picked up everything for it yet, but I thought, you know what? I was originally going to do BattleTech from the beginning, but it was like, no, because Johnny, that was actually the question I was going to ask you on Discord. It was like, do you want me to do Hand of Fate 2? But yeah, have you played Hand of Fate 2, Johnny? Because I know you played the first one. The first one is awesome. I've been playing on PS4. No, I don't own a console, except for the fact that I now have an Xbox One, which kind of came out of nowhere. And I only have Gears of War 4 and NHL 19. So if any of you have, like, especially Xbox exclusives or stuff that I can't play on PC, I am looking for recommendations on stuff I should be playing on this new one here. Oh yeah, number 2 looks to be like everything that made the first one great and more. But anyways, guys, I wanted to take a minute here and say there's 2 reasons for following Johnny big time. Number 1, he is back and better than ever in terms of getting streams done. He's still doing The Witcher 3, although he always likes to move along. Sorry, not move along. He likes to do other things as well. To sort of break things up a little bit. Obviously, I've been flogging the co-cast that I did with him for A Way Out. I had a great time with that, and I got very warm feedback on it, but I do tend to notice few people have actually watched those videos, which is a little bit of a shame because I really thought it was one of the better ones, in my opinion. And what else? Yeah, it was on my wish list, Johnny. That's exactly why you did it. And what else? Johnny's a funny guy. No. So in addition to that, all of these like good content reasons, Johnny is the reason we're playing Hand of Fate 2. And when's your birthday, Johnny? One of you should be kind enough to gift him a copy of Hand of Fate 2 so that we can complete the circle. All right, yeah, and looks like Red Dead Redemption is kind of the consensus around the one I should be playing first. I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to set this thing up. I'm sure I can just plug it into my monitor, but I might, I got to see what a TV will cost. I'd not be opposed to like setting that up. So I won't be set up for streaming on that for a while. By the way, guys, there is Twitch integration. That's what this thing in the top is. Oh, it's not capturing my cursor. Let me fix that. Oh, no. It should be. Okay, there we go. I was just tabbed out incorrectly. Oh, that's great to hear, Karash. But yeah, so the choices up here in 7 more steps. You can give me 25 health, 10 gold, or -5 food. Anytime there's a vote, you can do the pound sign or the number sign, shift 3 if you're using a US English keyboard, and then the option. So that'll be true for choices as well as these longer term events. So without further ado, please follow Johnny if you haven't already, and we will continue on to the Magician.
Nothing here is coincidence. The answer to every question is in the cards if you but look.
All right. Rescue the missing Empire soldiers from a town plagued with corruption. Growing scourge. Prepare to fight corrupted. Avoid Empire. Lose gold for every Empire killed. Okay. Companions. We only have one option, so we've got Malaclips.
All mages are my children. This one, however, I would rather disown.
Let's take a look at what the deal is with this. So, Magic Shield. When activated, Malaclips casts a protection spell on you that absorbs a single hit. Respin Wheel. Occasionally respin any wheel gambit, but lose your companion for 3 turns. And Ranged Magic. Can cast ranged spells which cause magic damage that ignores enemy defense. Can teleport to avoid damages. Okay. Oh, okay, I got this wrong. Now, if I want, I can load up some encounters, it looks like. Thank you very much, Freighter5. Fill your deck with encounter cards. These are places you visit on your journey. So we've got a friend in need. Again, we'll inspect. Complete this encounter card to unlock a new card. unknown. Draw this encounter during a challenge to discover its traits. So that kind of follows that other question in terms of what are the potential negatives. Well, when we encounter it, more will be revealed. I actually really like the fact that they're including more information on this. So we don't actually know anything on these. So I think we're just going to load up with everything that we've got. In this particular case, I'm going for everything that has a token. And we're obviously already familiar with 2 of these. So in the case of finding forest folk, we have to pick the right card, and when it comes to arm wrestling, we can roll the dice and potentially gain gold. So the game's kind of telling us what we can expect. Adding an art, yes, my bad. Fiend in need. Okay, fill your deck with equipment cards. These are items that you can acquire on your journey. So, Cardinal Blade for sure, Soldier's Sword. The Axe served us very well. Bastion of Purification, so these are all the awesome things, and we have room for one more, so we'll add the shield. And away we go. The game will recommend things, by the way, too. So this was a feature of the previous game as well. If you did not want to be bothered with the deck building element, you can just hit the recommend button. But in this case, I want to try and get some tokens.
A casual call to heroism. How many adventures start thus?
Well, just remember just to remember how much we enjoyed the ending of A Way Out, because I was caught blindsided.
Nothing but the game. I was defeated. It is true. I became complacent long before then.
So
I thought I knew everything about the game and what it could be.
What?
Now you see before you the extent of my research.
I
have crafted this game anew.
I believe you can roughly translate what the dealer just said as, while you were out partying, I studied the game. While you were at the gym pursuing vanity. Anyway. What do tokens do to help you? To my recollection, some of the tokens unlocked like new encounters in that and new items, but might be somebody in chat who can answer that better than me for the context of Hand of Fate 2. Your conversation with a fur trader is interrupted as Malaclips arrives in a flurry. The whispers speak of trouble at the edge of the Empire. The town of Westwind is suffering against the Blight. So we can head to Westwind, or we can find out more about Westwind. Well, low relative to what we had before. I think when we started the last tutorial mission, we actually had 5 food as well. So, all right. All right. I'm not going to vote every single one of these. We might as well just get as much information as we can. So let's ask about Empire protection. A small garrison is meant to be protecting the town, but apparently they are all either dead, missing, or drunk. What makes Westwind special? I've traveled far to escape the oppression of the Empire. Westwind gave me my freedom, and I intend to return the favor. Where is it? Westwind sits on the outer edge of the Empire. While the Emperor focuses on the capital, its nobles and merchants, those at the fringes, are neglected. That's enough for now. The Whisperers speak of trouble at the edge of the Empire. The town of Westwind is suffering against the Blight. We will head to Westwind. All right. You return from the markets and ask if any traders are headed to Westwind might need an escort. There are 3 options. I will give chat the voting here, so we can go for a stonemason, a food wagon, or a weaponsmith. I have a feeling that some people will probably go for the food wagon due to the perception of having very little food. The more bold among us might say that having a weapon in hand will allow us to obtain food through other means. And who cares about stones, right? All right, looks like we're split. Oh, I'm genuinely surprised about, genuinely surprised somebody went for the stonemason. So, MRA, you usually can fight your way. Usually you can get food by either directly through encounters or by kicking people's ass. So, yep, that's working as long as you put the pound sign before it. Okay, so if I want to go with popular opinion, we can do the food wagon or the weaponsmith. Let's learn about some new ways to find food. We'll go for the weaponsmith. You arrange an uncomfortable ride jammed in among the many tools of a weaponsmith headed far west.
Like a compass, it indicates the truth of all directions.
Okay, so we are switching from the villager's axe, which has got a cool critical strike. It's rusty and heavy. Instead, we're going to get the 8 blades. Requires 8 hits, fire magical blades in 8 directions. When activated, blades cause 20 damage or 40 damage against corrupted. It's an armor breaker. Bash causes additional damage to armor. One-handed can riposte between enemy combo attacks. Additional defense from a shield is useful against northerners. Activate your weapon ability 10 times to unlock this shard. Okay, so I need to get a little bit better at using the weapon. But yeah, Cardinal Blade sounds cool. Cardinal Blade was the one who voted against Pope Francis in the last... Oh, sorry. You arrive at the town of Westwind. To defend the town, you'll need to locate as many Empire soldiers as you can before the Blight invades. And away we go.
For lack of a better word, is good.
Happy birthday, you son of a bitch.
Johnny! You, of all people, do not need to be given money to this stream. I think you are one of the largest single donors here as well. Thank you so much. If you have something that you'd like to see me put that towards, I am more than happy to explore some ideas in terms of what we're doing. If anything, I should be spending that money on you because you have given me hours of entertainment. She said it's so nice. Why wouldn't she? You're a nice man. Anyways, you are you're definitely you are a heck of a guy, and thank you. I definitely think that is money you would be better spent on yourself. But you've given it to me, and I'm not giving it back. Thank you very much, Johnny. Honestly, that's very nice of you. I believe you actually just bought me... I'm going to tell you something that I picked up. Actually, you know what? Sorry, guys. I know you guys want to see some gameplay, but I'm going to just tab out to tell Johnny what I picked up. All right. Onward and upward.
Let us learn what sort you are. Strong, clever, wise.
You
The
enter.
circumstances under which you come here put the lie to that.
You enter a competition of strength at a fair. A gold prize is available to the winner. In the second round of the competition, you sit opposite the aged frame of Huntley Toothless. He boasts about once being a silencer for the Thieves Guild. All right. So we have 2 dice, target 12, 2 rerolls remaining. So, yeah. Oh, wait, we got 3. Huntley crumples in defeat almost instantly. You're lucky I'm not 20 or 30 years younger, he says, grumbling. You take your reward from the purser on the way out of the tavern. When you return, you will compete in the next round for a larger prize. So Johnny might remember a thing or two about arm wrestling. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, do check the VODs for Johnny's. Oh, by the way, I do need to record a new Elder Scrolls episode tonight, but there will be one ready to go tomorrow. I just need to upload it.
For life.
All right, a fiend in need. As you hike through the mountains one fine day, you come across an injured traveler. And after you did such a nice thing for me too. I had, honestly, Johnny, I had the time of my life playing A Way Out with you. Thank you so much for that. I was ranting about that at work. I had so much fun. So, as you hike through the and Eyes of Sin actually had some really nice things to say about the dynamic. So, as you hike through the mountains one fine day, you come across an injured traveler. Though he's clearly deeply wounded and barely moving, you sense something disturbing about the cloaked figure and approach with caution. "You, mortal, come here," the creature commands, his voice rasping. "I need sustenance to heal myself, and you will provide it." You draw your weapon, and the beast weakly raises its arm to defend itself. "Spare me, and I will make it worth your while." So we can vote. We can accept his offer, ask how, or finish him! Alright, looks like everybody wants more information. Alright. 3 days ago, I happened to feast upon one of your kind, a holy man of some nature, I believe, who no doubt could cure you of your wounds. Grant me a pittance of your blood to restore my strength, and I swear I shall bring him to you. We of the Lists never break our word. Alright. I know what I'm doing, but I'll give you guys your chance. Alright, Ed Baver doesn't trust this guy. I mean, the guy said he's worth... Guy said he's trustworthy. Don't you find people... Like, if somebody says, "You can totally trust me, I'm only gonna take a little of your blood." Chat split. Well, I'm using my vote. As you lower your blade, he suddenly lunges at you. The creature continues to draw blood from your arm. We can throw the creature off or wait. No time for democracy here. Creature continues to draw blood from your arm. He takes a moment to regain his composure. You will not regret this. I would have recovered my full strength in time, I've no doubt, but I admit you've been a boon to me this night. He gestures at the darkness, saying, "The humans who dared to think that they could best me in combat lie fallen in a clearing to the south. Their ambition was as foolish as their deaths were quick, but perhaps they had something that would be of use to you." The shadows seem to gather about his person until nothing remains. The dealer adds an encounter card to the deck. So I'm sure I could have gone longer and I would have got the token, but you set out with a flaming torch and soon arrive at the scene of slaughter. A dozen armed men have recently been butchered here. Among the remains you find no decent equipment, just the tools of farmers and provincial soldiers. As you leave the carnage, you step on a blade hidden in the shadows of the grass.
To the victor go the spoils.
So you've now got a knight
Do not
sword.
wield a weapon you do not wish to see turned against you one day.
So this has got damage area, create a powerful blast that causes 80% damage to enemies in an area when activated. Riposte counterattacks against shadows. Riposte deals 150% damage and causes stun if they counterattack, and one-handed just like our existing sword. It's slightly less damage. We can riposte 50 shadows to unlock this token, but in this case it seems a little bit easier to get the token from the Cardinal Blade, so we will not equip the Knight's Sword, which does a little less damage anyway.
This is yours now. Even
cool.
if you lose the challenge, you have earned this token.
Nice. So the important thing to remember here is that I am going to be getting some life for consuming food, but we have so far not encountered anything that'll be getting me some extra food.
Your supplies are running low. Make your choices carefully.
Okay, so again, I'm somewhat reflexively putting the votes in here. I might ignore these. The shopkeeper nods as you enter. Adventurer, how's the world out here? So we can buy equipment, we can buy food, we can buy healing, or we can sell equipment. So yeah, I'm pretty sure chat is happy for me to buy food, so we'll do that. We can get so looks like we get volume discounts. I could spend all my money on food if I'm... you know what? Let's do that. And if I want, I can sell equipment. But Knight Sword's not really worth it, so I think I'm gonna stick. I'm still sticking with the Cardinal Blade, but we'll work with what we've got here. I would like to get a shield at some point, but obviously getting my my food up is for the best.
The Empire reaches too far.
Ah,
the North
all right.
has gone from a loose collection of tribes to something to truly fear.
So I already spent all my money on food, so you find some Imperial soldiers strung up by Northerners. So it's important to remember we want to keep, the soldiers are sort of the object of our quest. We've got the Four of Frost. We can't pay to free them, so we can either fight or we can leave. And I think most people want me to be brave, but I'll give you guys a minute to pick, and I'm gonna sip a coffee. You ready your weapon? Let's just take a quick look. Okay, I do have a wooden shield. I don't think I have anything else, so my bad. I'm gonna go in naked. No.
Let us see if the mage can help you here.
This is such a cool transition screen, by the way. This is like one of my favorite things that they added to the game. So I'm a little low on health, so let's see if I can make it happen. Malaclips, a magician, jester, and a vagabond. When activated, Malaclips casts a protective spell that can block a single hit. Okay, R for companion.
If nothing else, I'll get a song out of this.
Oops. I thought I could do my special ability. Damn it. Ah. Alright.
By sea and sun, through fate and fame.
Alright, so we took a little damage there, but... Oh, we took a lot of damage there. Alright, so I can get a shield or a Bastion of Purification. We already have a shield, so... I mean, it may not be the same shield that gives me the token, but... damaging defense against corrupted defend causes 30% of your weapon damage to attackers. We do know that there's going to be corrupted in this level. And heavy shield, one-handed weapon required. Use defend to block attacks from ranged enemies. Reduces movement speed by 10%. It's going to be a little tricky, but... just 1 second here. All right. Defend 30 attacks. As much as I want tokens.
A shield.
It is a
in
different
more
shield.
ways than one.
With the Northerners dead, you free the soldiers. Alright, so we'll get some health back just from moving to the next location.
Here we begin to see one of the small ways I've changed the game. Each challenge differs both in their rules and their objectives. Even those cards which were once the stairs now vary per challenge, as you will see.
It's really nice that they explain this game in relation to the previous one, although Lord knows what people who've never played this game before will look at it. The West Wind Tower bell chimes feverishly. The town crier bellows, "There's corrupted inside the town. They broke through the sewers into Louse Lane. Our brave soldiers have gone down there to sort it out." 3 of Blight, you arrive to find Westwind's few remaining soldiers huddled at an entrance to its poorest area, Louse Lane. We cannot let the corruption spread. For the good of the town, we must dispose of anyone who has been tainted, even a little. We'll join the soldiers. You join in the fight against the corrupted. Alright, this might be the end of us, but... I think I'm going to go for an early protection, just so I can be inflicted. The first touches of corruption bring forth the darkest elements of their victims. Infected enemies are feeble, causing them to become knocked down when their health is low. Use a finisher before they recover.
I hope this works.
That was awesome. With the corrupted threat removed, you've ensured that these soldiers survive to aid the town's defense. The soldiers help you scavenge what you can from the remains of the poor souls taken by the corruption. So we're up a soldier's sword. No real point for me doing this right now. I mean, again, against northerners would be helpful, but I'd still prefer the damage. And of course, we are one closer towards our shard, so. And we have some food. Okay, neat. So we're going to go in a big circle here. I think I'm just going to do kind of clockwise. There's really, in terms of starting, I don't think there's any real indication. I know in the previous game there were some opportunities for, like to reveal what some of these cards were, but my guess here is the exit's going to be sort of here, and we can decide to stay longer if I want to do some new things, or possibly get my health up.
Commerce thrives in even the most unusual of locations.
Okay, here I'm going to sell some equipment, so we'll get rid of the soldier's sword. I'm going to keep the Bastion of Purification, and the Knight's Sword as a backup just in case. The thing is, the 4 is not really going to move the needle on this. Now, I can buy healing, but let's start by taking a look at equipment first. Can't afford any of it, don't want any of it. So let's see what we can get for healing. I can spend 8 for life, or I can spend 14. Alternatively, I could say 10's not worth it. I'm just going to let my, yeah, you know what? We're going to risk it. I could have done a vote for that, but...
Ah, a reward for a job well done.
A holy man approaches and greets you warmly. Greetings, friend. You are here, just as the master said you would be. My talents lie at your disposal. Have you any need for healing? I don't know, chat. Do we need healing after finding... Oh, that's right. Sorry. We didn't just randomly get that. That was you guys that gave me. So there's a couple of votes going on right now. One is for the encounter. You can do number 1 to accept, number 2 to decline, but there is the next gift voting up. A is G, B is L. Oh, say, good day, sir, Loxley, or 10 gold. So there's no limit. The one that you see in the top right of the screen is going to be kind of a persistent one. That's going to be #A, #B, #C, and then the numerical ones are only going to be for this encounter. All right, so in addition to drinking random potions off the ground, we have been healed by the cleric. Your journey through a forest is interrupted by an inquisitive child. Are you searching for the forest folk? My uncle says that they used to walk these woods giving out gifts. I want to find one and ask for a lemon cake. As they dash off to peer under a nearby log, the child shouts back, "Remember, if you meet the forest folks, get me a lemon cake." In the other direction, an eerie song hangs in the air. You attempt to find its origin. So again, we'll see whether or not I get the failure this time. You follow the song through the thicket and stream until you find an open glade bathed in golden sunlight. You find an aged maiden, her posture bent like the boughs of a forest. It has been 12 winters since I had a visitor. Her voice is a whisper, yet it thunders in your ears. You may visit me when you are in need, adventurer. Yes, that was fairly clear from the context, I think.
Now your chance presents itself.
Last-
At last, stand in the defense of the peasantry.
All right, atop West...
Noble traits you display already.
Atop Westwind Town Hall is a large bell tower. It's used to signal the day's end for the workers in the mines and surrounding fields, but now it will summon Westwind's defenders. Do you wish to summon the soldiers you have recruited? No, we are going to find some more recruits. Sorry not to put that to a vote, but...
They got themselves into this mess. I don't see why you should get them out.
You find some Imperial soldiers strung up by Northerners. We can fight to free them, pay to free them, or leave. Chat? Really? With my health where it is? Somebody says I should spend the money I don't have. Ready our weapon against the 3 Northmen. So the Northmen actually did kind of slap me around a bit, so I need to get better at dodging, but my view on this stuff is that I'm not going to get better if I avoid encounters that I struggle with, so Torgir wants to give me money. Thank you for that. Specifically Torgir, 42nd of his name, the answer. From the frozen darkness of the north they come. Northerners can perform combo attacks, use riposte with single-handed weapons to deal extra damage immediately after you defend. Alright, let's see if I can pull this off. We'll go for it. That's some good work there. Yep. So I got knocked away a little. Oof! I suck. Damn it. Alright, I'm getting a little bit better at dodging the heavy attacks. A shield and a warrior's axe. The warrior's axe is really cool, but in this case I'll take the shield just in case an opportunity presents itself. We'll continue, and we will not equip it though, just because this gives me higher defense and it is good against corrupted, which I think is what's going to be coming up again. We did indeed, Johnny. Alright, 2 new soldiers, so our decision to move on paid off. So we've got plenty of food. In this case, I'm just going to see if we can find more soldiers for the...
In my day, thieves kept their distance. None would pickpocket a mage for fear of failure, or worse, success.
The Market Bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the lands call out to passerbys to sell their wares. As the sun beats down on the crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a fountain. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, you discover a pickpocket making off with some of your belongings. You jump to your feet and catch a glimpse of the thief as they weave through the crowd.
Now you wager for more than mere success and failure. You choose the very stakes themselves.
The tangled maze of people proves too much for you, and the thief makes their escape.
They place themselves in these dire positions, and then expect a hero to come rescue them when things become too much.
While patrolling the outskirts of Westwind, you hear the clash of steel and the unmistakable groan of corrupted. Your investigation leads you to a distressed nobleman perched on the roof of his carriage. Thank the gods! I was heading to tea with Duke Gilbert, and then we were ambushed. My footman left me here to fight them off, but the brawl has now dispersed into the forest. The noble peers fearfully at the tree line. If you stay here and protect me, I can pay. So we can go after the soldiers, or we can accept his offer. I actually kind of know what I want to do on this one, but... yeah. Alright. 6 zombies. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Prepared for fight. I don't know why it did it this time, but I really like that intro for the weapon. I'm rather disappointed that I didn't block that, but... I think we might have lost a couple of soldiers off of this, but... Anyways, we got a couple of special abilities down. It really is, Johnny. I'm pretty sure there was one like it in the original game, but they've definitely amped up sort of like the particle effects and stuff like that, so. Oh yeah, this thing is great. It's like if you like FTL, but you just really wanted a little bit more interactivity to it, this is like the perfect blend. And the sequel is spectacular. Like this is, I'm really enjoying this. We are in the Magician, Torgeir. This is basically the first I've played. I did like 2 cards of the tutorial and then I got pulled away to something else. So this is like me just brand new to the game. So, Thunder's Boon. Draw a gain card at the beginning of each new map. If it is a life card, then keep it, otherwise discard it. And Transient Blessing. Any number of blessings can be equipped at one time. Transient Blessings are discarded when certain conditions are met. And we got some food. Okay, with the Corrupted Dispatch, the soldiers turn to you. I'm sure we could have handled it, but thanks for stepping in. I guess we have to go back to escorting His Highness, Sir Quivering Blanket of Mumsy, off to his palace. You get a bonus die for each soldier you saved. We can offer them gold to protect Westwind. Unfortunately, we can't do that, so appeal to their sense of duty. I'm not going to put it to a vote because there's only one option. Oh, okay, cool. So we get 4 dice, 18. With 2 rerolls, this should be manageable. Okay, so in my view, we should be re-rolling anything that's a 3 or lower. So. Oh, damn it! I thought that was keep. Okay, we're gonna blow it.
The dice are fair, and thus you have lost this round.
Sorry, I should have read that more closely. I was setting. I meant to keep the 6 and re-roll the other ones. Yeah, that's my read of it right now, Torgeir. Like it's I think it's like the first game was excellent. I remember specifically like doing the final fight against the dealer, and just I was so pumped at the end of it. But this one it's taken me straight back to that first experience. But anyways.
Another chance to redeem yourself. Let's see how you handle it this time.
Okay, Ego, thank you so much. 1 year. What a great thing to celebrate on my birthday. So thank you very much for that, Ego. Thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who just voted to give the dealer a fancy top hat. That is amazing. And Torgeir, I actually had no idea that there was a board game. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Baver, it was kind of the impression that 6 was locked altogether since you can't improve anyway, and it had that green glow. Yeah, so the green glow was because I clicked on it, and the problem is I'm sort of.
You make a poor apprentice. Cultivate focus.
Damn it, dealer. But yeah, essentially, I'm sort of still cued into the kind of the kind of like dice game where it's like you select the ones you keep rather than the ones you re-roll. The game very specifically tells you this is what's going to happen, but again, because I'm used to games where you are selecting I'm used to dice games where you select to keep. I just made an assumption that wasn't justified. So it's totally on me that I did that. Anyways, atop Westwind Town Hall is a large bell tower. It's used to signal the day's end for the workers in the mines and surrounding fields, but now it will summon Westwind's defenders. Do you wish to summon the soldiers you have recruited? Ring the bell. As night cloaks Westwind, you can sense the corruption rising from the shadows all around you. You survey any soldiers you've managed to recruit. You've gathered a large group of soldiers to defend the town. Here's hoping that you won't need any more. We've got the Terror of Blight and 8 Blight to come along. All right. You must survive till morning when Imperial reinforcements will arrive. We can give a rousing speech or we can remain silent. All right. I feel like I should go automatically with whatever Ego Akaran does, but then I see that Ego Akaran voted to give me 10 less health, so... We're doomed. The soldiers appear unmoved by your words and remain tense and fearful. That's fine. We're just gonna use our fancy sword. if I'd actually given the speech myself, it would have worked much better. Terror of Westwind. As the final vestiges of humanity are erased, the terror wakes. Use Bash to break the terror's corrupted armor and defeat it with a finisher before it regenerates. Alright, I'm gonna deal with the ads if I can. Oh crap. Sorry, I meant to use the... There we go! Oops. I was trying to do a finisher, but I suck. Oh, he's still got a little armor. At this point, I'm really just doing this for the points, but let's see if we can keep some of these guys alive. Okay, so we definitely lost some of our soldiers, but Terror is dead.
A mighty creature of chaos felled by your power.
Once the corrupted...
Does it satisfy you, this bloodshed?
Once the
knowing those you destroy were once simple peasants going about their day.
Once the corrupted behemoth falls, the rest of the minions flee, their spirits broken. The soldiers erupt in cheers, praising your valor. You can rest until morning, ready to greet the reinforcements with a town already saved.
The magician returns to the deck, but now we only begin our stories of fate, folly, and magic. Do not think I'm satisfied with this, but at least we have a place to begin.
So Johnny, what's it gonna take to get you to do this on stream?
Now you have learned the simplest of ways to build your deck. Each challenge will provide its own unique trials. Here are some more tools to keep you in good stead.
All right, a Ruby Ring, Valiant Aegis, and Winter's Bane. I'm assuming that'll help with the Northmen. For saving the town of Westwind, We have a man-eating tree, a gnomish exchange, a lost boy, pauper plague, and Westwind Tavern. Not much. You always wanted to play both of these. So I've never been bothered by the dealer. Hey, surprise mechanics. For giving your life to save an injured shadow beast, a knight sword. And for finding the forest folk, we get the old maiden. I approve of this chapeau.
As you play, you will find more options open to you. Should you find yourself blocked or overly challenged, take the time to explore the board. Unlocking cards will give you options you have not yet considered.
Thank you, Torgir. I like this little bit of encouragement. So one of the things that's really great about this tutorial, so if you look at it, right, you start with the Fool. It's going to tell you, hey, here's how you move and here's how you hit things. Number 2, it's like, okay, we're going to tell you a little bit about deck building. And then now that we finished the Magician, we've got multiple option that says, hey, if you're not able to make some progress, that's fine. Go and find something that will help you out. And it does 2 things for me, which is, number 1, it sort of highlights some of the variation that they've put into this new game. Hello, the Eyes of Sin. How are you doing? I know you're not feeling well, but I'm very happy to see you. This game is super cool, and Johnny got it for me for a birthday. And oh god, I actually regret not playing it. I am not 100% sure what adventure is. I'm actually just going to click on it for a quick peek. Ah, okay. So apparently we need to buy some DLC for that, which I'm very tempted to do. But we might as well jump into what we've got. I'll enjoy the base game before I enjoy the extra stuff. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it sort of in the order that we have here. And again, I like this little structure of the tutorial because, 1, it talks to you as if you are already familiar with Hand of Fate, which is a great game. Number 2, it gently introduces the new concepts. And of course, now it's given me enough degrees of freedom saying it's like, yes, it's going to matter the order in which you do these things. If you have trouble, go try somewhere else. So
there is the small game, the game we play, and there is the great game, the game of life and death, the game I was once master of.
All right, so let's pick. We've only got 1 companion, and supplies, I want to see what they've given me here. Okay, that's fair. Encounters, I think I'm just going to go for, again, anything. I think what I'll do is I'll take a look at the... So I'm going to try and go for the stuff that I'm unfamiliar with. So in this case, I've not seen one of these tokens before. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to add the Market Thief because that's one that we're familiar with. And then now we get to pick which of these new encounters we do. Right now I'm kind of token hunting. So Gnomish Exchange, Maleclipse's Problem, and the Westwind Tavern. Cardinal Blade, I don't believe I have finished the shard for. I'm not sure if the progress carries on, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit better at that if it doesn't. But Cardinal Blade helped us last. Again, kind of aiming for shards if I can. Well, shards are tokens. The ring would not hurt. I've got 2 more. I don't think we'll learn anything about the ruby ring, but it is definitely going to be something that I can add on top of all of these others. And do I want a better shield? Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'd be slightly tempted for the Warrior's Axe, because that worked so well for us last time, but I think in this case here, the opportunity to pick up things like the Cardinal Blade or Winter's Bane is slightly better. And then I'm just going to double check here. So collect blessings in order to enter the ritual house at the summit of Mount Freydis and negotiate a treaty with the Northerners there. Gain blessings to increase your chance of success. Northern honor. Do not expect to be welcomed by the Northerners whilst treading in their lands. And campfire. Survive Mount Freydis by restoring life at the camp. So one thing that I might want to consider is there something that I could get that would be more effective against the Northerners? In theory, yeah, so the riposte, slightly better, but Winter's Bane, surely. So the only other thing that I could think of, oh no, it's still useful against the Northerners, and we do have some progress in this, so I'm quite okay with this selection. I do believe... Well, I know there were curses in the old game. I don't recall if there was any equipment that had negatives. So it would be a surprise to me if it was MRA. I believe equipment is a benefit, but... Okay.
You find yourself once again in the company of prayer and religion. How unfortunate. Now it begins. Negotiations on behalf of the Empire. We will see how that story ends.
Malaclips has somehow roped you into traveling deep into the far north on a diplomatic mission. While I usually refrain from working for the Empire, since this one... since this one takes me further away from it, I've made an exception. It'll square my debt with General Brandstorm and help open many doors for you. What do you say? You can join Malaclips and begin the quest, ask how you can help, ask about the leader of the Raiders, or ask him more about his mission. Let's find out more. General Brandstorm instructed me not to come back until I talk to the High Priestess of the North and offer the terms of the treaty, he explains. How can I help? As you know, I have a great many skills, but my swordsmanship is unlikely to hold up against Northern Raiders. I know no one else who is more up to the task. Yeah, but my dodging isn't that good, so what about the leader of the Raiders? There are many clans dotted around, but the supposed leader of them of them all is the High Priestess who lives up there. Malaclips points to the top of the soaring mountain before you. Will you join me, he asks. Join Malaclips and begin the quest. No, we're just going to shut down the stream and say goodbye, everyone. So, excellent. Bring your sword and let me do the talking, says Malaclips. I brought plenty of supplies so we can set up camp when we get hungry. Malaclips shares a tidbit as you commence your journey. The High Priestess is quite partial to blessings. If you can prove yourself worthy, we'd have a better chance of swaying her in our favor. Access the campfire at any time between encounters. The camp can be used to consume food and restore life or trade equipment. Collect at least 6 blessings before meeting the High Priestess. You grit your teeth and begin the ascent. Ah, Johnny, you just missed me babbling as I normally do. I still love this top hat.
Not every temple has crumbled into the dust. More's the pity.
The Temple of Divine Providence provides blessings in exchange for a simple gold donation. Not voting on this one. Alright, Gambler's Bequest, Gold Zealot, Monk's Vitality, Beggar's Charm, and Ally's Return. Let's see what's going on here. So, Gambler's Banquet, receive 2 food after every dice gambit. Permanent blessing, any number of blessings can be equipped at the time. Gold Zealot, receive 15 life for every gold gain card you receive. Monk's Vitality, if your max life is less than 150, you may discard a food gain or equipment card to gain +5 max life. Beggar's Charm, gain up to 20 gold at the beginning of a new map if you have less than 20 gold. And Ally's Return, revive your companion at the beginning of each new map. I think Gold Zealot. All right, so we've got a huge surplus of food here. So I'm a little curious about this crown because they added it to the game, but they didn't actually do anything. They didn't say anything about it. But in this case here, I'm just going to go down, check out these 2, and then we'll head out and check the 3.
A Ever since I've returned to this world, I've been disappointed. The filth, the shame, the horrors dwell in the minds of men, not in the monsters in the darkness.
Westwind's only tavern, the Rusty Razor, is a safe harbor among the many dangers of the outer reaches of the Empire. Its barkeep sits outside his establishment with a look of resigned defeat. Upon your arrival, he jolts straight up and a smile almost breaks out across his face. At last, someone from the guild is here. These Empire soldiers have almost ruined me. Before you can disagree, the owner swings open the saloon doors and pushes you inside. Inside, you discover a handful of Empire soldiers enjoying ale rather than doing their duty. The freshly invigorated barkeep hops onto the table and shouts above the noise, "You lazy, drunken deserters are done! All Stewards Guild has sent an enforcer here, and now you're all going to have to get back to your posts! This town needs defending!" One of the soldiers raises with a slight sway, "We've got 3 days until our shift ends and we return to civilization. So we're not doing any fighting unless they threaten the supply of ale. Right, lads?" A raucous cheer erupts and beer tankards smash together all around. "So why don't you take your shiny eagle badge and shove off?" Barkeep turns to you. What are you going to do? We can threaten or we can offer a bribe. Must choose, but choose wisely. The people have spoken. You suggest with menace that the soldiers should report to duty, or they'll report to the healer. This is not going to work at all. "I won't be threatened by the likes of you," the soldier grumbles as he rises, followed by his friends. Yes, sanctioned backseating is okay. If it happens within the confines of the game, that's all good. It's when people like tell me stuff that's really obvious that. Occasionally. Watchmen taken from the dregs of society elevated to petty positions of power. Watchmen can block, greatly reducing incoming damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Just once. Could we get a quiet drink?
I want to try and defend my companion where I can. Oops. We have gained a shield. Well, I might as well replace the rusty wooden one. And we get a health back because we got some gold. Oop, I didn't see what that... Oh, 4 fame. Okay. As soldiers fall under yet another blow from your weapon, the leader shouts out, "Stop! All right, we'll do our part. Just stop cracking our skulls."
The token is mine.
Children. It's hard to conceive that either of us were ever such.
"He's just a small child," you overhear. A deeper voice growls, "We have to take him to the dungeons or else he'll run straight to whatever northern clan he's spawned from and show them where our outpost is." "That's a shifty-looking kid. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him," says Malaklips. You consider the boy's fate. Save the boy or offer to take the boy to the dungeon. Chat. Incidentally, could somebody say potato when they hear this? I'm a little curious what the stream delay looks like. I'm just going to tab out to Twitch so I can get a quick word on Just a couple of quality settings here. Okay, so there is a little bit of a delay. But I do have transcodes, so... Alright, so... I'll admit, I was thinking that there might be a bit more of a clear idea of where we're going, but we'll go democracy this time around. So, save the boy. Unsheathing your weapon, you demand that they let the boy go. The Empire soldiers are unmoved by your threat. Knight Sword, when he accused the mayor of being a shadow beast in disguise, they thought him mad.
Once again, good intentions end up with people trying to hit me.
I tried to shield break instead of block. I'm an idiot. Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot. If you've not played this game, by the way, these little fighting bits are very satisfying. They make it fairly effortless to do cool moves, so you feel like a champion every time you do them. As you check on the unconscious guards, they notice the boy looking at you warily, as if you notice the boy looking at you warily, as if sizing you up. Alright, click and hold to grab the dice. Let's see if I screw it up this time. So, these are the ones we are re-rolling. Ha ha! No, I probably shouldn't take too much of a victory lap on that. He fiddles with a little dried plant hung around his neck nervously. Okay, I'll tell you. There was an Empire ambush on our village, and I ran with my mother. We got separated. He wiped some tears from his face angrily. But I'm not afraid. I'm of Clan Catsfoot. We are great pathfinders. I will find my way home. The boy tells you what he knows of the area. Ah, cool. So we can... The good news about this is we waste less food moving from the Ascension. So we'll go through the Blizzard and the Gnomish Exchange first, and then we'll head over to the Ascension. The small northerner boy refuses any and all help. You can only wish him luck as his small form disappears into the forest. And we gain 2 fame. And I believe that was a fragment that we got, which is why that wasn't added to the tray.
Be careful where one takes refuge, even in the worst of storms.
With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. Whew, alright. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance and discover the dark clouds have passed. Oh, I didn't even notice that, Torgir. Maleclipse forages for firewood, saying, "This log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night. Access the campfire at any time between encounters. The campfire can be used to consume food, trade, or review your mission." So, I mean, it's definitely encouraging me to do the camp. Let's give it a shot.
Campfires will always offer warmth and heat, but they also change with each challenge. Be prepared.
Oh, okay. So it looks like there's a little more going on here than I thought. Does the blizzard hit you again if you revisit? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it does. Usually if it goes dark, it will. But there are definitely some events where if something happens to you once, and it kind of gives you a quest to do. So I remember in Hand of Fate 1, there was a mission where it's like, hey, you need to find this item and return it here. And then somewhere else in the map, you find that item. You could go back and it would still give you something to do. So I think it's context dependent. Alright, a figure appears out of a swirl of frost and snow. It is a northerner. I come in peace, he says. I make the pilgrimage to the High Priestess. I mean you no harm. Without waiting for approval, he slumps down beside you and warms his hands by the fire. In my youth, I once fancied... I'll just hit the vote here and we'll see what's going on. So, in my youth, I once fancied a northerner warrior. She almost cut off my head when I serenaded her. Malaclips plucks a mournful note on his lute. Young love, hey? So we can cook food, we can trade, we can change appearance, we can review the mission, or we can break camp. I think a change appearance is what I think it is. Let's try trade first. So I don't need to buy food. I can definitely... I think buying equipment is a good idea here. So Cardinal Blade, drat. Looks like everybody else had... So I kind of want to see what change appearance is. I have a feeling it's exactly what I think it is. Yes, much like it says on the tin, we can change our appearance. I am quite content with the selection. We'll maybe change appearance if we die, but for now I've got my very generic look. Okay, I don't see any reason to cook food. I mean, we have a surplus of it. We'll break camp for now. You sleep through the long, cold night. In the morning, you pack your things and continue your climb up the mountain. I'm saving that for your playthrough, Johnny.
Between my loathing for gnomes and my despair that the world is becoming less strange and arcane as the Empire spreads.
You trespass on gnomish ground, humans. A voice calls out as a dozen small creatures leap from the trees around you. The penalty for this transgression is death! Make peace with your gods. I only regret we didn't have the Cardinal Blade to use on the gnomes. Fiercely territorial, trespass in gnomish lands and face the consequences. Pesky, persistent, and impossible to hit, gnomes cause snare. Evade to avoid or struggle to break free. Gnomes can only be deterred with a finisher. Ah! They're not kidding when they say they're hard to hit. This is amazing. Nope. Trap. Oh, it's too late. I feel very strong. Oh my god. This is the best game ever. I regret not playing this before while the Steam sale was still on, because I would have been telling you all to buy it. The battered gnomes pick themselves up from the battlefield and approach you cautiously. Alright, the penalty for this transgression is no longer death. We'd like to parley. We seek arms to defend ourselves, the gnome declares loudly. Hand over some of your equipment and we'll release you. We could even pay you something. I'll give you some food for a helmet, one of the small folk exclaims. I'll share the secrets of this land for a ring, another chimes in. Give me a weapon I can wield, one for my brother. We've got gold, a toothless gnome calls out. The gnomes all loudly shout their offers, trying to drown each other out. Rewards depend on the equipment type traded. I don't really think we have anything to give them. Oh, that's not true. I can try and give them the neglected sword if that comes down to it. All right, chat. I'll leave it to you. Do we parlay? I was wondering what they meant when they said that they can't be hit. I was really curious exactly what that meant, but all right, you guys are way too nice. Holy smokes. I don't want to give them either of these things. Yeah, screw that. The gnomes quickly retreat into the trees, peering at you from the shadows until you leave. I'm assuming that I would have got the token, but I don't want to give up my my 2 items, so maybe another time. Oh, we've replaced the hat, so...
The mountain
Hello,
itself
Smurf.
pushes you back.
A sudden blizzard slows your progress through Mount Freydis. The bitter winds pierce your skin like shards of glass.
Witches I will tolerate. They have at least stepped into the streams of power that magicians call home.
As you ascend the snowy Mount Freydis, you happen upon a cottage with pungent smokes wafting out of the chimney. A frail old lady sweeping snow off the path beckons you to come in. We've come in search of the great High Priestess to deliver an important message, says Malaclips. You'd better go bearing blessings if you want to get on the High Priestess's good side. I'm fixing a batch right now, if you'd like a taste. If I've got it right this time, you can take it to her, she says, stirring the cauldron. Malaclips politely declines. I've been watching what I eat, but my companion here has an insatiable appetite, he says, nudging you forward. Yeah, no worries. So the original game is... The best way that I could explain this is... Imagine a game like FTL or any other sort of roguelike where you're going to be going through these individual encounters, but in between the encounters like what I'm doing right now, there will be combat where you have kind of a third-person perspective, and it does actually rely on reactions, so you need to make sure you hit someone, you need to make sure you dodge and things like that. So the basic premise of this game is that as you... you've got this dealer, and the dealer's sort of explaining... previously, it was sort of explaining the journey that brought us here. I'm not 100% sure if we are still being told the story of the journey or if we're now actively going out on a journey ourselves. But essentially, all of the encounters we'll get have been drawn from a deck, which in some cases we will select some of the cards that can be drawn, but there's no guarantees that they'll be present. At least I think. I mean, it's obviously you can get through the levels without clicking on every card. And then again, if you're familiar with roguelike games, you have persistent health, as well as some resources like food and money. We've got some fame, which I'm still not 100% clear on, but I'm sure it'll be explained as things go on. And they have added Twitch integration in the game. So just a word here, guys, if you do want to participate in the sort of the passage of time votes, hashtag A will remove a blessing, hashtag B will add food, and hashtag C will add money. All right, so there is a chance of failure here. I'm really good at picking the failures, it looks like. You take a sip of the putrid potion and feel your stomach churn. I knew I shouldn't have substituted cloudberries for bogberries, she says, comforting you. Choose the righteous path, and you'll find blessings on your way, I'm sure. You step outside the blistering cold and continue up Mount Freydis.
In the cold, men become desperate. Women hold these mountains together, even through the worst.
With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Malaclips forages for firewood, saying, "This log is dry enough. We can set up a camp here for the night." Access the campfire at any time between encounters. The campfire can be used to consume food, trade, or review your mission. So let's do a camp As though you were being stalked, the gentle northerner pilgrim emerges from the darkness, slumping down beside you. Mount Freitas does ever bite, he says with a grin. I love her harsh kiss and bitter cold embrace. Another day's good climb. So I'm not going to restore the health. I don't really feel like I need that quite yet, but let's see what's available for trade. Okay, still the Cardinal Blade. Unfortunately, we still don't have the money for it, so... And again, I didn't want to give up. I wasn't going to get I wasn't going to trade it for a token, so it doesn't seem to make sense to me to go for the other. I'll do a quick second here just to review the mission. It basically tells me what's already available. I'm not sure why that's an option, but we'll break camp. You sleep through the long cold night. In the morning, you pack your things and continue your climb up the mountain. I'll also give you a quick word here, Samara. If you are interested in checking out this game, Hand of Fate 1 is a fantastic game, but there does not seem to be anything that has been removed from the first game. So I feel like you could jump straight into number 2 and sort of have the perfected experience.
Will you push on despite nature itself attempting to thwart you?
A sudden blizzard slows your progress through Mount Freitas. Bitter winds pierce your skin like shards of glass. So we really can't afford... we're already down one blessing that we should have gotten. So in this case here, we're going to continue exploring. Yet another blizzard. With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Malaclip forages for firewood, saying this log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night. So I'm gonna head up north first, and then we'll check this place out on our way back.
A lesson in caution awaits us all. Nature, truly wild nature, will not tolerate fury in its domain, unless it is its own.
High up on the mountain, you see the silhouette of a man approaching through the heavy snow. He bellows through the roaring wind. Who dares trespass in the sacred grounds of our priestess? Alright, Frost Trapper and 3 Frost Bros. Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. I'm really glad to hear that. I certainly enjoy doing the stream, so I'm glad that people are getting something out of it. It's also really rewarding when people do stuff like wishlist, just because, again, even though this is something that Johnny gifted to the stream, I'm definitely of the view that if this stuff can connect people with games that they like, obviously the developers of good games continue to get support. They're able to continue doing what they do, and it's a nice little bonus for everyone involved. On the frozen plains, prey are few and far between. The keen eyes of a trapper see all. Trappers throw hunting traps that snare their targets, use evade to avoid the traps, or change direction rapidly to break free. So let's try and not get hit by one of those.
Not less than the amazing Malaclips and assistance.
I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to take advantage of the blocks on these guys, just because it seems like they're pretty resistant to or like I get staggered when I block them as well. Finish him off. There we go. I played a little bit of Hellblade, Samara. I will be finishing it off later. But yeah, Hellblade's a great game. And Ego says, you need to get up early. Thanks for the stream. Have a good one. Bye, System Chalk. Bye, chat. Ego, thank you again. 1 year on my birthday. I could not have asked for a better reward from you. So I hope you have a good sleep. I hope tomorrow works well. Hope to see this game again. It's a lot of fun. I will definitely do this game again, Ego. I probably want to... wear down a little bit on my list first, so I may not be back to it like immediately, but we'll definitely be doing some more of this game in the future. All right, the clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping away everything in its path. Target 11 with 2 rerolls. All right, so I feel like I should only. Oh well, I don't need to. I don't need to reroll. I was gonna just reroll the tool. So you seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapons jut from the snow. As you near, you realize it is still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the avalanche. We can retrieve the weapon or dig him out. Chat? I actually think I know what I'm going to do with this, but we'll see. We'll see how chat feels about this decision. Torgir is a nice person. Johnny Big Time's a bastard. But a bastard who donated, so maybe we'll do a plutocratic system where we go by donation. Alright, this looks like it's an even split. I am going to use my vote. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we were enemies by blood. Take my blessing and leave me to my thoughts." You gain 2 fame. And we gain the second wind. Healing and combat boost life to 75 when life drops below 25, then discard this card. So this is an important one. I actually want to avoid my life getting too low, specifically because I want to have 6 blessings. But of course, the reason why I went for number 2 is the game told me if you do nice things, you get blessings. So if you dig him out, you can always kill him later. Yeah, this you do the nice guy options just so you can have more combat a little bit later. All right. Oh, Market Thief again. The Market Bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the lands call out to passerbys to sell their wares. As the sun beats down on a crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a fountain. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, you discover a pickpocket making off with some of your belongings. Oof! You jump to your feet and catch a glimpse of the thief as they weave through the crowd. Ooh, maybe? Damn it! The tangled maze of people proves too much for you, and the thief makes their escape. Thank you for the gold, chat. All right, option A will give us a new chapeau, the Loxley. B will reduce my maximum life. I will go from 110 to 100. And C will give me 3 food.
Your companion has his own story to tell. We must wonder if this is a tale of a hero or a villain.
You arrive at the city markets to meet with Malaclipse's associate. Sorry guys, I'm just taking a minute to finish my last little bit of coffee. You find him sitting on a blanket by the sewer gate. You can't tell whether he's a goblin, a human, or an animate pile of greasy rags. A few wilted daisies and duckweed tied with rope are flopped on the ground around him. "Merc," Malaclipse calls to the creature, arms outstretched. "I have a favor to ask of you, my handsome friend." The greasy goblin man raises a hand to stop the bard's prattle. 10 gold first. You know that. Summerwood says, "I'd love to watch more, but it's 4:30 a.m. here. You need sleep. Thanks for the game. Enjoy your day. System Chalk and Chat. I hope you'll be able to stay here more in the future." No problem at all. So, again, it's always nice to have people kicking around, but life gets in the way. I actually wasn't going to be streaming today, and I'm really glad that I did. I may not go super late, because I do have a couple of other things that I want to do. Again, a lot of this is actually stemming out. I'm feeling really recharged after that Montreal trip because, again, I did get a chance to meet some people who had some really encouraging stuff to say about some of the work that I've been doing. And some of this is Cultist Simulator related. And I want to try and capture some of the momentum on that. But, all right, so Malaclips looks at you expectantly. I guess we can make this democratic, but I know what I'm going to do. 1, we can give the Goblin Man 10 gold, or 2, we can refuse the gold. But yeah, so I want to make sure that I'm taking this time that I took off of work. I want to have this opportunity to get some things done that I normally wouldn't. You people are monsters. But with that in mind, I figured, it can't hurt to do a stream. I know I'd normally be doing a stream, and of course, more importantly, while I would be doing Stellaris today normally, I'm switching off of that. Wednesday, there won't be a stream because I will be at Dirty Rectangles. So, and I'm giving him 10 gold. Malaclips steps forward as Merc counts the coins. Oh, okay, so Johnny Big Time and Torgir came in. Well, I know I saw Johnny's vote, but Torgir also came in. Steps forward as Merc counts the coins. Merc, old bean! The bard looks furtively around before quickly waving at his shoulder. I require help in removing a certain illness. Merc considers Malaclips for a while. That kind of information costs more than a few coins. You sputter indignantly. I'll require a test of skill from him. He turns and points at you. Pick a flower and eat it, the greasy florist displays his meager wares. Malaclips nods as if it were a fair request. We can eat a daisy, a forget-me-not, or the luminous purple flower. I believe my mom really liked forget-me-nots. Johnny likes shiny things, so he'd be the one who dies at the end of The Last Crusade. I'm going to give Chad a little while to go through it, because it is a 3-option one. I finished my coffee, though, so now I need to... See, I would have done the forget-me-not, but there's a consensus, so... The flower has a crispy, burnt texture. Alright, I need to get above 15. This will probably be a tough one then. We did alright though. So, it is... The odds are against us on this, but there's a chance. Insufficient! You feel an intense wave of heat emanate from your stomach to your neck, and you collapse to the floor. You wake to Malaclips splashing you with water. Merc has left, and you see him attempting to steal a seed bun from the baker's stall. We'll come back later and try again. Yeah, right, can't win them all.
The mountain is unforgiving. You would not be the first to die upon its peak.
A sudden blizzard slows your progress through Mount Freydis. The bitter winds pierce your skin like shards of glass.
Old witches. I have a fondness for them, but I would not trust them.
Further up the mountain, the blizzard becomes so intense you barely see the tiny cottage engulfed in snow. An old lady beckons you in. I've received word from my sister's hawk and have been expecting you. May not be as skilled as her, but this blessing potion I've whipped up is my best yet. Do you think it's good enough to take to the High Priestess? She says, blowing the steam off a simmering bowl of thick liquid. Remember how great it worked for you last time? Says Malaclips with a sideway glance. Oh boy. Alright. Heroic Sacrifice. Prior to combat with 2 or more monster cards, optionally discard a basic monster card but lose your companion for 3 turns, and it is a permanent blessing. You take a sip of the aromatic potion and feel a warm, fuzzy feeling flowing through your body. Looks like my recipe is a success. I'm sure the High Priestess will appreciate this one. You thank the old lady and continue up Mount Freydis, paying no heed to the brewing blizzard. All right, on we go. I'm very happy that we've got lots of supplies because, as Torgir pointed out, we're not losing too much due to the fact like we can keep going back over the grayed out cards. All right. With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Malaclypse forages for firewood, saying, "This log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night." So no need for camp, so we'll move ahead.
With the least of notice, the very lands beneath your feet can slide away. Life is filled with surprises.
I mean, I will admit, Torgir, so like I definitely played Hand of Fate #1 specifically with that in mind. Like I would use it as a double-edged sword. Sometimes I would use sort of traveling through old areas as an opportunity to heal as much as it would be something that could potentially starve me. But I just think that there's other balance things that they can do in the game. So I think overall it's a good choice that they did it, just because in the end I think you tend to feel a little more hurt than anything. So I wasn't like if they had kept it inside this game, I wouldn't be like screaming at them, but I definitely think this new system is better. All right, high up the mountain, you see the silhouette of a man approaching you through the heavy snow. He bellows through the roaring wind. "Who dares trespass in the sacred grounds of our priestess?" Frost Trapper and Frost Berserkers, hidden raiders, spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. Nope. All right, let's see if I can remember the controls properly this time. Middle is shield break, left is special ability. I'm just a dummy when it comes to these kinds of controls, so. Berserker, fueled with rage and determined to destroy. Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movements and attacks. Yikes.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Malaclypse.
Oops. I'm gonna try and finish this guy off if I can. I love how he just falls like a log. Yeah. I hit the wrong button for the special ability and it accomplished nothing. That's more trappers than I thought there would be. Oh crap. Wow, the combo on that is absolutely devastating. If it was still there, you wouldn't be upset, but you're a big fan because I like to have a few beers when you play and forget to pay attention. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, like, it's really obvious from the way I've been doing the re-rolls and stuff like that.
Of the Templars and their religious rites.
I get my delightful Cardinal Blade again. Yes, we're equipping this. Yeah, Baver, I mean, this is very much like the first Hand of Fate. Like, I still make dumb... I don't know why, but, like, I intellectually understand what the controls are, but I think it's because I play other games with different control schemes that my muscle memory is just not reacting to what I want it to do. So in the first game, like, I would do tutorial missions and, like, almost die, but then just there's suddenly that moment where it's like, okay, yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I can remember, and like the funny thing is, like I took a break from the first Hand of Fate, and like out of nowhere, I'm on like the final boss, and I go and it's like, okay, this will be a warm-up one. I don't expect a whole lot, and that was the time that I beat it. Like I'd taken a break from the game, and it was just like riding a bike. Like I played the perfect game, and I felt so good by the end of it. All right, the clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping away everything in its path. Okay, target 11 we should be able to manage, but let's not count our successes. Oof. Yeah, this is going to be tough. You seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapon juts out from the snow. As you near, you realize it is still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the avalanche. So we'll dig him out, and mostly just because I actually don't... I like my Cardinal Blade, and I want to get the token for it, so dig him out. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we were enemies by blood. Take my blessing and leave me to my thoughts." You can't do this with keyboard and mouse. You always use a controller for this. And the Arkham series, yeah, I'm doing keyboard and mouse, and I'm really noticing that I suffer a bit from the layout. But the thing is I played the first one with keyboard and mouse too, so I think it's just going to be weird to go back at this point. But again, like I can't like sit down and say, I pushed the wrong button, this game sucks. When I do that, it's like I've opted into keyboard and mouse, and if I make a mistake, that's totally on me. All right, precise dice. Score the exact target value in a dice gambit. Draw 2 equipment cards, then discard this card. Well, I don't want to double it up then. Transient blessing. Any number of blessings can be equipped at one time. Transient blessings are discarded when certain conditions are met. So this is going to make it a little tough. With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. So in addition to this nonsense, I can lose 10 max health, 15 health, or 1 blessing. So apparently this game just really wants to savage me. Oh god, I don't even know. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds cease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance and discover the dark clouds have passed. Malaclips forages for firewood, saying this log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night. So again, I don't really have much use for the camp right now. We'll take a quick peek over to the side here, and we'll hopefully it's not Ascension, but... Ooh, arm wrestling. Actually, that'll be bad because we might lose our blessing. But anyways, you enter a competition of strength at a fair. A gold prize is available to the winner. Your opponent is in the third round is a Parley the Brass Hag. She touts herself as a fearsome pirate, but needs the money from this competition to get herself a boat. Target 14. That's a pretty good roll, actually. So 1 in 6 chance that we lose the blessing. Oof. Oh man. Winter's Bane I would normally love in the case where we're going up against Northerners, but for now I'm going to keep trying to use my Cardinal Bane, so we will not equip it. Ruby Ring.
Valuable for purely financial reasons, if nothing else.
Blessed Life, gain plus 10 max life while you have more blessings than curses, and any number of rings can be equipped at one time. So overall, pretty decent. It's tough, right? Because if you think of it, like, what were the desirable outcomes for me? To get 5 or 6. So, you know, it's a one third. Obviously, 1 in 6 is even... is even more remote, but the Brass Hag cannot live up to the strength of her name and slumps in defeat. We gain some fame. I also get healing as a result of my my gold zealot blessing. That's one that's really paid off. And we'll start camping again because now I have some money, so... Do you lose this dungeon if you don't get those 6 blessings? I don't believe so, MRA. All that it has said is it will be harder to meet with the High Priestess if I don't have 6 blessings. Alright, you take your reward from the purser on the way out of the tavern. When you realize you will compete in the next round... when you return, you will compete in the next round for a larger prize.
A grand opportunity for you to take whatever pleases you and go about your day.
The Temple of Divine Providence provides blessing in exchange for a simple gold donation. Sorry, I'm not going to leave this one to a vote. So, Gambler's Banquet. Receive 2 food after every dice gambit. We might need that at some point. Monk's Vitality. If your max life is less than 150, you may discard a food gain or equipment gain to receive 5 max life. The Beggar's Charm. Gain up to 20 gold at the beginning of a new map if you have less than 20 gold. And Raider's Penance. The first hit in combat against Northerners deals 50 bonus damage, and it's permanent, so hell yes. I believe we have once already. I mean, I can try it now, but... Oh, apparently we didn't. Ooh, Valiant Aegis. That is actually a decent one for me. Although... Oh yeah, it's Shadow that we need to block, so this one might be worth it. Buckler Defend adds +1 to the weapon charge. Eat less every 3rd step, does not consume food. Shield Reflect, one-handed weapon is required. Use Defend to reflect weapons. I mean, it is kind of expensive, but this is actually...
Little trust in artifacts that breathe, myself.
This one isn't bad just because the shield is something that I can't get the I can't actually get the benefit from. So you sleep through the long cold night. In the morning, you pack your things and continue your climb up the mountain. So of course we only have 1 goal. This might hurt me if I want to do something else. But for now, we've got the Cardinal Blade, the Valiant Aegis, Adventurer's Garb, Ruby Ring, and a bunch of blessings. So unless we find a helmet or a... I'm not quite sure what the hand is.
Now the confrontation.
Ooh.
Are you ready to face the priestess of her people and drive the deal the Empire has requested?
All right.
Or
Well,
will you turn and flee?
if I didn't fail that previous one, so yeah, we would have been able to succeed at this one if I didn't fail the potion and we didn't get the die roll. But that is definitely a very narrow path to go through. So the wind's clear, the dark clouds to reveal the spire of a ritual house protruding from the summit. You press on through the thick snow to find the wooden structure adorned with the spoils of war. We will enter. As you enter the great hall, the towering arched doors swing open with a heavy creak. A giantess in a velvet robe enters, accompanied by raiders. Malaclypse bows low to the ground. My companion and I have been sent forth to discuss a truce between the Empire and Northerners, m'lady. So they send me a silver-tongued devil and his mercenary, she smirks. I hope for your sake that you have a decent offering. You kneel before the High Priestess. Only 4 blessings. What a pitiful effort. With a flick of her wrist, bolts of lightning strike you. For not bringing enough blessings, you have failed to win the gold token.
You still have a chance to defeat this mission, even if imperfectly.
The giantess claps, the sound ringing in the silent, cold hall. Ha! This small thing survived it. Impressive, but if you wish to speak to me of a treaty, you must prove yourself against my champion.
Bring it.
Her raiders charge towards you. Now, if I felt particularly insecure, I could switch to the weapon that gets a bonus against the Northmen. But in this case, I'm going to try and get the token for the Cardinal Blade. Yeah, the dealer's always been really well written. I mean, obviously, Darkest Dungeon gets a lot of attention for the, the Wayne June voiceover, but I really feel like this one doesn't get enough credit. Berserker Champion, fierce, loyal, and relentless champion of the High Priestess. Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movement and attacks.
Why do we always end up enraging the locals?
Oh. So I am slowed down. That was not the most effective use of that weapon, but... Oh, damn it. I thought I blocked that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it seems that way, although I don't think that's by design. That was fun. Even though you failed to bring me your offering, I am impressed with how you wield your sword. Now hear my terms. The High Priestess draws herself up, a towering figure draped in fur and wrath. The North will never bend to the Empire. Blood for blood for blood. These are my terms, small one. Let your leaders hear it and quake. With that, you make a quick descent to relay the message back to General Brandstrom. For besting the High Priestess's champion, we get the Humble Hammer, the Berserker's Creed, and the Extinguisher. I also gain the Winter Solstice, Burning Building, Temple Prayers, and Cartographer. For ascending Mount Freitas, your supplies have been added to. We gain supplies, Warrior's Axe, and Soldier's Sword. For clearing out the Rusty Razor, we find the Friendly Innkeeper, and take aim and uncover what lurks in Ironspeak. Rana's Remarkable Fishing, and Unrest in Ironspeak. It's worth mentioning, by the way, for those of you unfamiliar with the game, some of these are continuing storylines. So, for instance, there's things like blood auctions in the first game, and you actually go to different blood auctions with different outcomes. It's not just that you... it's not like you get copies of the same one. That generally there's a story that get told by these if you pay attention, so... This almost sounds like not getting 6 blessings is better. I'm pretty sure the gold token gives you some cool stuff. Alright, now I am getting close to the time that I would finish, but I feel like... I definitely feel like continuing... I feel like we need to get at least one more done. So the real question is whether I want to try the High Priestess again to see if I can get the 6 blessings, or if we want to try something entirely new with the Empress. I'm definitely feeling... let's do the Empress.
This game is merely the lesser game. It is not the true game of life and death, merely my model of it. I must prepare you for the challenges you will face when we meet Callus in truth.
Alright, the Empress. Earn fame in order to wield the legendary weapon, Hrethia's Ire. Villages on the northern outskirts are under assault from northern raiders. Defeat the mighty shaman who is leading their raids. Mighty hero, gain enough fame to wield the mighty Hrethia's Ire. Raids, encounters with northerners are common in these parts. So, That gives us some obvious choices in terms of weapons. As usual, I'm going to go for the ones that are tokens. Ideally, I'm going to do tokens. Okay. Obviously, we're doing Gnomish Exchange again because that was awesome. Market Thief, I have not had luck with, but we'll carry on with it. Maleclipse's problem. Again, similar idea here. I'm going for things that'll get me tokens that I'm familiar with first, although again, we've got space for 10, so we'll add the Cartographer, Rana's Remarkable Fishing, Unrest and Ironspeak, and we've got room for 3 more, so we'll add the Winter Solstice, and I mean, it's all random at this point here, so... Oh, apparently I forgot the Burning Building, so we'll add that, and let's add the Fork in the Road to the list. Okay, so I've got the benefit. I've got the shard from the Cardinal Blade. So first of all, Winter's Bane is a high priority due to the fact that I've got Northmen coming up. As usual, I definitely want Berserker's Creed, Shield. Again, going for the tokens. I actually might be able to add just everything here, but I'll add the Ruby Ring and the Extinguisher. Okay, so I get to add 3. Let me just double check here. Yes. Okay. So Humble Hammer doesn't say Valiant Aegis. So, I mean, the special ability is pretty cool. But in this case, I will add the Bastion of Purification. For now, I'm going to go without. I kind of at some point want to try the... I kind of want to try the recommend option before I go to chat, but in this case here, I kind of want to... I'm very much a burn my hand on the stove kind of player, but I think if I carry on for a little bit longer and I feel a bit lost, I will definitely ask for some chat feedback. So Soldier's Sword seems to be sort of the obvious one. I mean, if I felt particularly weak on food, I would have gone for this. But the Soldier's Sword does have a bonus against Northmen. So in this case here, I'm gonna go with this batch here. And again, whether or not this is and again, like, this is the challenge that we have, right? Is that there are people who are familiar with the game and can probably make me some really good recommendations in terms of a better outline. The strategy I'm employing right now is basically to try and maximize the number of times that I earn tokens. I actually particularly like doing things like the market one because it's one that frustrates me a lot. I try and get those out of the deck as quickly as I can. And then if I won't stack up, let's say 8 cards that frustrate me. But I actually do wind up putting some things in that sometimes become a bit frustrating. Just because it's nice to get rid of them. All right. Looks like the Empress also gives us a new companion, I think. Complete the Empress to unlock. Anyways, let's carry on.
In this case, the Empress is a symbol, a leader of the northern clans, but not their only one. Now we come to one of the new nuances of our game. The hunt for fame and esteem would not work for all players, but it works for you. I can sense it in you. Your pride, your skill. In time, we will learn all of you.
Interesting. Raiders have destroyed our village, the Elder of Talos explained. I'm going to have to give it in the Skyrim voice. Raiders have destroyed our village, the Elder of Talos explains in a hushed voice. They were sent by a dark shaman of the north. They were searching for this. He draws a large warhammer from his cloak. Herethia's ire. It is the only weapon that will break the seal protecting their encampment. He hands you the weapon. Herethia's...
Anger is a powerful force.
Sorry, it's Hraitha's ire. Shockwave, perform a powerful strike that causes knockdown in a single target. Impact tracks enemies and causes stun. Armor Breaker, bash causes additional damage to armor. Heavy, bash deals additional damage to armor and enemies while they block. Susceptible to evade, cannot riposte. I need 20 fame to wield it. The weapon is heavier than you imagined, perhaps weighted down by some hidden magic, preventing you from wielding it to its potential. You require 20 fame to equip this weapon. Earn fame by completing encounters. The elder looks straight into your eyes as though peering into your soul. Not all weapons are for all men. Only those who have demonstrated great acts of valor and courage may bear Hraitha's ire. You do well to remember that. So, I'll ask some questions. What would you like to know? Make it quick. What must I do? You must find the courage to wield this weapon and defeat the shaman before the 5th village falls. The villages need a hero. The town of Braden is surely in danger and must be warned. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get... Oh, no, there's more. Okay. How do I use this hammer? Great artifacts require great heroes, he explains. Never turn down the opportunity to aid others. Seek out greatness, and you will be rewarded. Ask about the shaman. A twisted creature with great power. Never seen on the battlefield, but I hear she commands her warriors from her camp in the forest to the east. We sent our warriors to find her, but a magical barrier prevents anyone from entering her sanctum. It is said that Hraitha's ire can break through such a barrier. If she were attacked at her camp, these raids could surely be stopped for good. And what would you like to know? Make it quick. Ask about the Empire. The Elder scowls. Empire? What good is the Empire? Naught but tax collectors and carrion crows. 6 raids here this year, and not a soldier to be seen. So much for protection. They're less reliable than the worst of the gods. It is a badass hammer, Johnny. Begin your quest. Thank you. I must trust the sacrifice of Talos not to go in vain. He bows his head. May the gods bring you good fortune. So I'm going to assume that the King's Road is the end of the level, so we're going to investigate all of these areas first. General store. Does he command the legions? We can buy food. We can buy equipment. I'm thinking food is probably not a bad idea to pick up here. We're going to spend... I think we're going to spend everything. I'll try and take advantage of the volume discount. And we're going to go out and around and then back like this.
At what point does honor bend to pragmatism?
Milady. The road ahead is blocked by an overturned carriage and a woman calling for help. Please help, she cries. I've been robbed by a band of thugs. Is there anything you can do? I'm going to be... So, with some of these votes, I'm going to be going through them a little quicker, but for ones where I think it'll be interesting for chat to carry on, obviously I will... I'll draw them out. So, assist the distressed woman. Unlikely we'll win, but... Ooh, never mind. Thank you, the woman says, as you help her from the carriage. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. Is it a smooch? No, it's food. And we gained 2 fame. So we only need to help 10 more damsels.
Time passes and things change. The advances of the Empire march on, and mystery and magic falls further into darkness. Yet, death stalks the streets of the city.
I really do like sort of this background story of the Empire expanding out and magic going away. I'm assuming there's going to be more of this developing over time, specifically with the dealer. One other thing that I didn't really mention is I actually also really like how the background of the carriage is changing. Again, these are just little touches that really push this thing over the edge to me. A pall of smog casts the city in a dull gray light as you navigate the narrow streets and back alleys of Ironspeak. Beware the Prince of Poisons, calls a young boy in a short-brimmed cap as he hands out leaflets to the passing crowds. You stop and read a discarded parchment sodden by the damp that clings to the cobblestones. Prince of Poisons strikes again, another mass poisoning in the back streets of Lowtown. Mayor raises reward to 500 gold. The boy approaches as you finish reading. If you really hope to be safe, you'd best protect yourself. I have just the thing, and at a bargain price. So, we can ask about the Prince of Poisons, we can ask about the shoveled children in the alleyway, we can ask about protection for the Prince of Poisons, and we can visit the marketplace. Let's ask about him first. He's the one responsible for all the killing that's been going on, the child exclaims, wide-eyed. Dozens, if not hundreds of innocent people dead, all poisoned by the prince. He strikes at random, anywhere in the city and at any time. Just drops one of his canisters and half the street's dead before anyone knows what's happening. If you really hope to be safe, you'd best protect yourself. I have just the thing, and at a bargain price. Let's ask about the disheveled children first. The boy looks over to where you are pointing. Most of them lost their parents to poison and live on the streets now. The boy shakes his head in pity, saying, "Come from good homes, some of them. They won't last on the street. Don't even know what street corners are best to beg at." I think we gotta offer the children food. The children, dressed in clothes once embellished with silver buttons and lace, but now torn and coated in soot, swarm around as you approach with food in hand. I think I'm going to give 5 food here. 10 is a little much. A dozen filthy hands tear the offered morsels to shred as the children scramble for what they can get. More filthy children appear from out of the shadows to beg for food. You gain 4 fame and lose 5 food. Suddenly an armed man sprints into the alley, knocking several children to the ground. He pauses to swear and glances back the way that he came. A silver-haired lady, clearly dressed for combat and sporting an array of weapons, stands silhouetted at the end of the alley. "Running is pointless, Mad Eye," she says, matter-of-factly. Mad Eye draws his weapon and the children scatter. "I'm not going back to prison," he yells back in defiance. We can attack Mad Eye, we can join the men attacking the women, or we can stay back and observe. I will see what chat picks on this one. Really? You guys surprise me. "This one's mine," the woman tells you as you draw your weapon. More armed men suddenly rush into the alley. "Mad Eye," one of them calls. "We won't let her take you." Keturah. You will find no charity here. When activated, Keturah fires her back-holstered weapon and causes high damage to enemies in range. Stay close and charge her ability faster.
Nothing like the smell of gunpowder from a lot of the right states.
Oops.
I hope this works.
I suck. I suck.
Out of my way.
Alright, I took a lot of damage on that for no reason, but... The silver-haired woman immediately rushes forward to stand over Mad Eye, declaring, "I'm taking this lowlife in and getting the payment." As formidable as the woman looks, you turn to search the other fallen men before leaving the alleyway. So we've got the Bastion of Purification, damaging defense, heavy shield. I'm happy to pick this one up. You got some gold. You leave the troubled town of Ironspeak with the impression that you've not yet seen all that it has to offer. Thanks, chat. Alright, more arm wrestling. You enter a competition of strength at a fair. The gold prize is available to the winner. Just a reminder, we've got another Twitch vote up, so A will take away 10 gold, B will take away 5 food, C will give me 25 health. That is as in to replenish, it will not be max health, so. A masked bounty hunter sits motionless across the table from you. You prepare themselves for the 4th round of competition. 16 on 3.
Dice are a constant reminder of death. The singular is die, as I'm sure you know, and they are often called bones for the material from which they were crafted. Here, however, they may also bring a touch of life.
It's 50-50, basically.
I'm somewhat surprised you lost that one.
Masked opponent shows no sign of celebration despite their win. A loss in the 4th round of competition brings a modest reward. You take the lesser reward for losing in the competition of strength. When you return, a new contest will begin.
In your life, you will have wandered endless intersections, yet this one sticks with you. Why? What is it in your memory that catches here?
Possibly. I only have one companion right now, MRA. So, you arrive at a signpost detailing the possible path north and south. Malaclips sniffs the air. My magical senses are pulling me toward the north. It smells like someone is baking cinnamon pie up somewhere up ahead. We'll see what the campfire gives
offer
me.
a chance to see what your companion has to say about your current challenge.
After long days travel along the King's Road, you find yourself at a trader's camp. They welcome you to join them. Burning the whole village to the ground seems a bit much. Think of all the textiles and the wine wasted. Malaclips has to have another bottle of wine to calm himself. Let's see what options are available on trade. I can always buy food if I need to, but I think I'm going to wait until I'm a little more desperate. As far as equipment, no.
Let us see what the next town holds.
Following the Talos Elder's instructions, you find yourself on the road to Braden and continue to the next village. I believe it is free, MRA. Normally there's a sound effect associated with any time you pay something, so...
Do not take lightly the mantle of fame. Being a figurehead is not without consequences.
You arrive at Braden at dawn to find it under attack from raiders. I don't think I have anything that will help me out here. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my outfit. The soldier's sword, I can't remember what I need again. Repose 25 northerners by attacking immediately after defending an attack to unlock this token. Now this is a tough one because I think every time that I block an attack, I get I stagger back. But we'll see if we can pull it off. As the village burns, 3 brave farmers attempt to defend the last of the surviving villagers. One calls out, "Please help! We must stop these savages before all is lost!" You draw your weapon and rush to their aid. Well, assuming I don't lose gold, right, MRA? Because it's like if I get the thief right when I run out of of food, then it's entirely possible I won't be able to buy any more. So every hero must have a heroic sword by their side. This, however, is utterly ordinary.
Don't let them hit me! I'm too sick for violence.
Oh, that's how the riposte works. Okay. Actually, that's a really smart one, because one of the problems I ran into with Hand of Fate was it felt like I had just a little too much... That's awesome. It kind of felt that I had a little too much... I was able to sort of abuse the combat a little bit more. This one you actually need to have a slightly better reaction to make it all happen. I really like the way the riposte system works in this. So what I meant by that is... It used to sort of be as long as you could hit your mouse button fast enough, you'd get a pretty big bonus in the basic game. And they had ways of dealing with it. In this one, if you're going after a burly guy and you defend yourself, but you don't immediately attack back, that's what's been staggering me. So in this case, I actually want to be a little bit quicker on my reactions, and it makes the combat part even more engaging than it already is. Okay, allies return. Revive companion. Revive your companion at the beginning of each map. It's a permanent blessing, but we don't need to worry about blessings this time. So we're halfway to our fame goal. The surviving villagers rush to the farmer's aid to tend to their wounds. Thank you, hero, they cry. You have saved our people, but sadly our village is no more. Please accept this small token of our gratitude. For saving all of the peasants, you receive 4 fame, and we gain some much-needed food. A lot of much-needed food, actually. It is not the time to celebrate. They are surely mustering to raid the town of Terran. They point further south down the riverbank. If you are a true hero, you will surely save them. With another village lost to the Northerners, you set out for the next town without delay. Oh, really? Interesting. I mean, it could be that I'm looking at this with rose-colored glasses, but like so like the thing for me was that it definitely felt like pressing the right mouse button just stopped me from suffering anything negative and would usually give me a big boon. So it was really just a question of I could even blow it on the main attacks, but as long as I got that block down, I was okay. Whereas when I'm fighting the Northerners, and again, this might be specific to the Northerners, if I block and I don't have my next move immediately in place, then I lose the opportunity that the defense gives me, which I just think adds another level of dynamism to these encounters. Not that they needed it, but it's a touch that I really like because it just makes me a little more engaged with the combat.
Here's a token for you, if you can earn it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to spend some money. You arrive at the city markets to meet with Malaclips's associate. You find him sitting on a blanket by the sewer gates. You can't tell whether he's a goblin, a human, or an animate pile of greasy rags. A few wilted daisies and duckweed tied with a rope are flopped on the ground around him. Merc, Malaclips calls to the creature, arms outstretched. I have a favor to ask of you, my handsome friend. The greasy goblin man raises a hand to stop the bard's prattle. 10 gold first, you know that. Malaclips looks at you expectantly, so I'm going to give the goblin man 10 gold, but you guys get to vote on the next bit. Malaclips steps forward as Merc counts the coins. Merc, old bean! The bard looks furtively around before quickly waving at his shoulder. I require help in removing a certain illness. Merc considers Malaclips for a while. That kind of information costs more than a few coins. You sputter indignantly. I'll require a skill test from him. He turns and points at you. Pick a flower and eat it. The greasy florist displays his meager wares. Malaclip nods as if this were a fair request. So, last time we tried the luminous purple flower, I failed the roll, so pick 3 if you'd like me to try the same challenge that I did last time. If you would like, you can also vote for the Forget-Me-Not or the Daisy, and this is one that I will spend a little time waiting on chat for. I'm actually at the point I would have stopped the stream, but it's my birthday, right? We'll carry on a little bit longer. To at least see this one through to its end, even if I die. Interesting. A little more division. I'm more inclined towards trying the luminous purple flower again anyway, but the flower is a crispy, burnt texture. Thank you! Yes, good, important point that Valken just brought up. The game is set up only to detect rolls with the pound sign. Okay, so we need 9 out of this one. The odds are against us, but I mean, let's face it, I've already got a 6, so 1 away. You feel an intense wave of heat emanate from your stomach to your neck, and you collapse to the floor. You wake to Malaclip splashing you with water. Merc has left, and you see him attempting to steal a seed bun from the baker's stall. We'll come back later and try again. Yeah, thank you guys. Again, I don't want to make too much of a big deal about the birthday, but it was more I let people know last week that it's possible I wasn't going to be streaming today, and I decided instead, normally I would be doing Stellaris right now, so I decided it would be just a chance for me to do, something different, because it's sort of like...
When the hero runs in, the villain takes their time to bait their trap. Be careful, lest they put you in your place.
It was basically just a chance for me to sort of say, hey, I want to stream, but it's my day, so I'm going to do something special, and I am so glad I did this game. It's great, and very special thank you to Johnny Big Time for gifting me this game ages ago, because this was great. Rustling behind you is all the warning you get that your life is in danger as you turn the cords of a northern bola wrap around your body. A party of northerners charges at you as you break free. You've been ambushed. Yeah, I need to explain less. I will probably stream it again other nights, Torgeir, but I will warn you, I do have quite a bit on my plate at the moment. So it might be so what's going to be happening is Wednesday I'm actually going to be off. Normally Friday is sort of my free day for games. So I need to kind of figure out where all of the different games that I've got on my plate are going to be. But it's very clear from sort of the viewership and all of that this is a game that more people like to see, and I'm having a great time of it, so I'll definitely do it, but it's more likely I'll do it a Friday than other days. This coming Friday I might want to try and get through some of the other stuff I've been covering, but we'll see. Again, I want to try and do this a little more often, and we'll see how my schedule gets it going. I'll always announce this sort of stuff on Twitter and that, and obviously I think you already followed the stream, so there'll be an announcement with the game that I'm playing if you turn those on. Alright, Bastion and Purification. Niall was a wildly inventive craftsman and also quite mad. What was he mad about?
Fate and fame.
I don't care that I paid with some health to do that finisher. That was awesome. Weekends are always a good, better chance of the devs popping by, which is always fun. Oh, I didn't know. I follow Morgan Jaffet on Twitter. I actually quite like some of his writing. But I didn't know that they stopped by his streams. I will be sure to try him on weekends more often. With the raiders defeated, you contemplate your next move. Let's search for spoils. Oh, okay, so there's a chance that we get hurt. Hey, food. You rifle through the defeated northerners' belongings and uncover a stash of food.
You'll notice that my carriage does not stop for every distressed traveler along the way.
The road ahead is blocked by an overturned carriage. Obviously, Morgan Jaffet is not the only person who worked on this game, but Defiant is definitely fun to follow. Yeah, I'll definitely have to keep that in mind. I don't normally stream on weekends, but I do special streams on weekends. And this is a special game. So, the road ahead is blocked by an overturned carriage and a woman calling for help. Please help, she cries. I've been robbed by a band of thugs. Is there anything that you can do? I am the best at dice.
Here sets the tone for your challenge.
Thank you, the woman says as you help her from her carriage. Please accept this as a token of my gratitude. The health was definitely a smooch. Alright, the shopkeeper nods as you enter. Adventurer, how's the world out there? Let's take a look at the equipment first. Fire inflicts 40% less damage. I feel like the ruby ring is better here.
Keep walking in the light of grace, and this ring will favor you.
I think I'm gonna leave the rest. I don't really need the healing at the moment, and I'm good for food. It's possible I might need the fire extinguished, but I'll just be better at dodging. Thank you, chat.
If you fall in a trap once, you may blame error. To fall in the same trap again smacks of foolishness.
Yes, MRA, but that was actually from the... I don't believe it passes from map to map. I believe your equipment resets. I might have got some sunburn today. My neck's feeling a little toasty. Rustling behind you is all the warning that you get that your life is in danger. As you turn as the cords of a northern bola wrap around your body. Oh yes, again, for those of you who like either assisting or damaging me, you can cast your vote in 8 steps. I will either get +3 food, that's hashtag or pound or $A. If you want to take away food, it's B. And if you would like to reduce, I believe, my max health, that is C. Bring it. I guess I young now. You're my favorite. Well, and MRA. The two of you who are giving me goodies. It took me a little longer to charge that than I was expecting, but... I'm really bad at making sure that I get those riposts in, but I'll work on it. It's a little premature on that dodge. I'm assuming this guy gets like staggered for days if I'm... Okay, that wasn't a riposte, unfortunately. I said I'd stream again. How could you vote for mean things? Well, you don't know when I'm streaming, though. Right, with the raiders defeated, you contemplate your next move. So we can search spoils. It's 50%. So again, it's unfair for me to say it's a 50% chance that I have a negative thing, because you can actually track the cards in some situations. I'm particularly bad at it, but it is possible in the game to track where the good ones are. I think in this case, I'm in a pretty decent shape right now. So let's search for spoils and see what happens. More food. You rifle through this defeated northerner's belongings and uncover a stash of food. So this is a perfect example where under the old system, it would have actually been good for... I mean, it's only 5 health, but like obviously to have food consumed as you move by... Oh wait, no, but they introduced the camp system for that. Yeah, the camp system is absolutely better. Okay, so let's take a look at what my trading options are. I don't really think I'm going to want... Yeah, I can't afford it and it's not worth it. I could sell something, but I don't really need the money right now. Yeah, so now that I think of it, I think this is probably something that Torgeir was trying to point out, and I completely failed to realize it. So in the old game, it used to be that every time you did movement, it would consume 1 food, and if you had food, it would restore some of your life. And what they've done instead is if you go through... So one of the things that this does potentially if you're low on food is it gives you less of a reason to explore the level, which means there's less for you to do, and it means that the game isn't necessarily as fun. So what they've done instead is, with this camping system, you don't consume food to go over cards that you've already explored. This is stuff that gives you safe passage. But if you want the advantage of the camp, so like one of the things I used to do in the old game was like pile up on food, and then I would just sort of go in a loop to get my health back up. Instead of doing that, the developers said, okay, well, why don't we just give people the advantage if they want to do that instead of making them move around? And in this case, you can just camp and cook. So this is a strictly better system than the old one. I, for some reason, was just sitting there failing to realize that for the whole time. All right, you find yourself on the road to Terran. Continue to the next village. Dusk falls and you continue on your quest.
Actions, of course, have consequences. You cannot think that the steps you have taken will bring a simple peace. No.
You arrive at Terran at dusk to find it under attack from raiders. As the village burns, 3 brave farmers attempt to defend the last of the surviving villagers. One calls out, "Please help! We must stop these savages before all is lost." You draw your weapon and rush to their aid. I actually don't remember what my my shield special ability is, but I should have blocked in that case. Damn it. I was trying to do my special ability. I'm mostly just trying to knock people off the board as quickly as I can, so that I can save the villagers. I am attacking the wrong guy if I want to save villagers. Overkill. Okay, so I think we lost a peasant on that one. Oof, one farmer. That's a pity. Surviving villagers rush to the farmer's aid and tend to their wounds. "Thank you, adventurer," they cry. "You have helped save what remains of our people, but sadly our village is no more. Please accept this small token of our gratitude." Now, it is not the time to celebrate. They are surely mustering to raid the town of Dangernoon. They point further south down the riverbank. If you're a true hero, you will surely save them. With another village lost to the northerners, you set out for the next town without delay. Well, there will be a delay because I'm going through all of these. While strolling the docks of Ironspeak, a tattooed woman calls to you from a small fishing sloop. As she shakes your hand, she introduces herself as Rana Ishmael, captain of the SS Remarkable. "You look strong of arm and sure of aim. Have you considered a career in the fast-paced world of deep-sea harpoon fishing?" Let's ask about harpoon fishing. "It's a popular pastime among the kinds of folks who need to prove their physical prowess," she says, brandishing a rust-covered harpoon. I can get you out of the water. I can get you out on the water right now, or for a little extra gold, I know where you can acquire a premium harpoon. It'll help steady your aim." Behind her, the sea beckons. What do you think, chat? We can fish now, we can purchase a premium harpoon, or we can have none of this business. But I mean, a salty sea lass, come on. We can't turn this down. Alright, looks like the majority is going for number 2, so... Rana pads off down the docks and returns hastily, the sinews of her arms bulging under the weight of the new harpoon. This will improve your aim, provided you can raise it off the deck. We will purchase the harpoon. With your supplies safely stowed, Captain Rana sails the boat away from the dock and out into the open waters. Lose 10 gold. The pendulum beam will now move slower in this encounter. Alright, let's see how this goes. As the shoreline disappears, Rana drops anchor. You need me to tell you how this works, or are you ready to throw some harpoons around? Please instruct me, madam. She puts one arm on your shoulder and points down into the water. We call that the ocean. It's got fish in it. If you throw your harpoon down there and it hits one, I'll pull it up for you. You want to be careful of this reef wall. If your harpoon ends up in there, you might as well kiss it goodbye. The deeper you go, the bigger the fish, though you can never be too certain of what you'll catch. Finally, there's a shipwreck way down there, an old merchant vessel. See that golden glimmer? If you need a target fair and true, I'd aim for that. Hey, Eyes of Sin. I was gonna say we're chatting with a salty sea last, but I saw her first. So you raise the harpoon over your head and hurl it into the churning ocean.
The pendulum swings like a scythe, bearing hope or failure.
All right.
Nicely timed.
Your harpoon descends further into the reef. Patience. Patience. Your harpoon descends to the lowest reaches of the reef. The merchant's vessel treasures glitters tantalizingly on the ocean floor. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. I screwed up.
Breathe, you have done well.
Rana hauls your catch up onto the deck. A horned gloom grouper. Fantastic, says Rana, hauling a massive flat-headed fish over the railing. A horned gloom grouper. Look at the size of him. Sun hangs low on the horizon. Rana raises the anchor and says, time to return to the docks and to distribute the sea's bounty. Armed northerners await you on the docks. A burly warrior reeking of fish and salt water points at Rana accusatorily. There she is, the one who stole my father's whaling harpoon. Let's teach her what we do to pirates around these parts. You draw your weapon and prepare to face your attackers.
I'll have you know my friend here is killed far better than you.
Screwed up. I managed to get a couple of ripostes in, which was good. Nice work protecting the cargo, says Rana, as she rolls one of the northerners off the pier. Rana cleans your catch. That's a very successful haul, but not enough for the token. Rana gives you a casual salute, a bucket of chum dangling from her arm. If you ever want to go out on the water again, you know where to find me. So what this does, of course, it gives us a lot of opportunity to explore.
Wealth through exploration. We have many lands to discover, you and I. If you cannot make use of this, I will question your skills.
Okay, a traveling cartographer in the process of making the first full map of the Empire wishes to pay you gold for information on areas that you've seen in your recent travels. I need not know every stream or stone that lies from here to the capital. I'm sure whatever knowledge you can provide will be of some worth. There are 3 revealed encounters on the map. We can accept 6 gold as payment for the information or return later. I feel like returning later is the better option, so I'm going to go... Yes, thank you, Enderlord. We'll return later. I'm actually going to be wrapping up after this round is done, but I'm glad you came back. The Market Bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the lands call out to passers-by to sell their wares. As the sun beats down on the crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a fountain. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, you discover a pickpocket making off with some of your belongings. Let's see if we can finally bring this one home. Drat. Oh, all right, you sod. Keep your darn stuff, the thief mutters as they drop your belongings on the ground. As you gather up your things, the thief runs off back into the crowd. So... thank you, chat.
The Empire has so many fantastic creatures from these lands, and yet they leave the gnomes.
Eyes of Sin, you have got to watch this. All right, chat, just a reminder here, if you want, in the next 8 steps that I can take, #A will remove a blessing, #B will give me extra gold, #C will remove food. You trespass on gnomish ground, humans, a voice calls out as a dozen small creatures leap from the trees around you. The penalty for this transgression is death. Make peace with your gods. I love this encounter so much. And Eyes of Sin is getting back at me for something I don't know that I've done yet. That's minus food. Fiercely territorial, trespass in gnomish lands and face the consequences. Pesky, persistent, and impossible to hit, gnomes cause snare, evade to avoid, or struggle to break free. Gnomes can only be deterred by a finisher. So just a quick... Oh, I'm going to feel so bad after seeing that icon. So yeah, Sin, I know you like to listen to the cast sometimes. If you're not watching the video, you definitely want a clear idea of what's going to happen during this encounter. This is one of my favorite moments in a video game. All right, bring it, midgets. Oop. I feel like I should have got rid of more of them, but... No, they're back up. Okay, I gotta realign myself. Emre, I think Eyes of Sin is gonna keep that. I think she's gonna keep that as C after seeing how I treated the gnomes. Sin says, "This, friends, is how one fights toddlers," and I guess a young now gives a pog. God, I love this encounter so much. The battered gnomes pick themselves up from the battlefield and approach you cautiously. All right, the penalty for this transgression is no longer death. We'd like to parley. We seek arms to defend ourselves, a gnome declares loudly. Hand over some of your equipment and we'll release you. We can even pay you something. I'll give you some food for a helmet, as one small folk exclaims. I'll share the secrets of this land for a ring, another chimes in. Give me a weapon I can wield and one for my brother. We've got gold, a toothless gnome calls out. The gnomes all loudly shout their own offers, trying to drown each other out. Against my better judgment, I'm going to give them the soldier's sword, and this is because I'm going to... I think I'm going to be able to use Hraitha's ire before too long. This could be dangerous. Are you sure you wish to trade these items away? Yes. You surrender the equipment to the gnomes. Satisfied, they offer payment in return. I don't think so, MRA. Yes, I would. Okay, so heavy weapon, shockwave, perform a powerful strike that causes knockdown to single target, impact tracks enemies, and causes stun. Armor breaker, bash causes additional damage to armor, and heavy bash deals additional damage to armor and enemies while they block. Susceptible to evade, cannot riposte. This is going to require a little bit of realignment. The Toothless Gnomes look perplexed. A mighty war machine, to be sure, but however will we wield it? He turns to his brother, and together with the other gnomes, they heave the weapon into the bushes and out of sight. So we did not get the token.
It appears you are worthy to wield the weapon of champions. The raiders will hide from you no longer.
You turn Hraitha's ire over in your hands. The rune on its face begins emitting a golden light. It is unclear if it now weighs less or you have a newfound strength, but either way you can now wield the mighty hammer. Malaclips looks on in awe. Wow, that would earn a pretty penny at the markets. But first, let's use that to break the barrier on the Northern Raiders' camp, slay the shaman, and stop the raids once and for all. Oh, we don't even get an option. All right. Remembering the Elder of Talos' instruction, you set out towards the sanctum of the shaman. While we're at it, I'm just going to explore the last little areas.
You strike me as the type who would put themselves in harm's way for the benefit of others. Yet, perhaps you'd rather have someone else sacrifice themselves for you.
You hear shouting up ahead. As you make your way down the cobbled street, you see lights flickering on the road in front of you. As you approach, you see a building, flames and smoke billowing out in its upper room windows. A crowd has formed outside, passing buckets of water between one another to temper the blaze. As you push your way through the crowd, you see a woman frantically pleading to the villagers. Please help, my family is in there. Anyone, please help. We can brave the fire ourselves. Okay, well, we gotta put this to a vote. I can brave the fire myself, option 1. I can met Malaclips attempt the rescue, number 2. Or I can decline to help, as, you know, brave people always do. Look at all you goody two-shoes. I mean, this is going to be the option I probably go for anyway, but I really want to learn more about you as people.
The wheel is one of my favorite innovations. It combines many different elements of our game into one.
Confirm or choose again. I'm quite happy to confirm the one of toil. Although this one looks wild, but I think we'll...
Excellent. A wise decision.
Through a haze of smoke, you find the woman's youngest daughter, crying under a bed. You coax her out, scoop her up, and carry her out of the blaze. A villager rushes to your aid. Thank you, brave adventurer. I can take it from here. Be warned, the building is not safe. It will soon collapse. You gain 2 fame. The woman embraces her child and then turns to you once more. My husband! Did you see my husband? He's still in there. Please, please help. Chat? Looks like Ed Baver actually, even Ed Baver's coming in on returning to the building. All right, then. Oh, okay, so it was actually just a lighting effect that we saw on here. All right, well, let's hope for the best. So I guess we do the trickster to... Oh, no, redraw. Oh, cool. Okay, I see how it works now. I am your husband now. You find the woman's son attempting to find his way out through the smoke and the flames. I don't believe I will have my companion for the final fight now. Grabbing his hand, you lead him back through the building to safety. A villager rushes to your aid. Thank you, brave adventurer. I can take it from here, but be warned, the building is not safe. It will soon collapse. The woman embraces her child and then turns to you once more. My husband! Did you see my husband? He's still in there. Please, please help. Chat? I'm relying on, I guess, a young now for the Pog Champs. You'll all be the death of me. We're doing it. Son of a gun. This is gonna hurt.
Oh dear. Move faster next time.
With a sudden crack, the beam above you gives way, injuring you and blocking your path. You retrace your steps back out of the building. The woman sees you emerge empty-handed, and the woman lets out a cry. My husband! Did you see my husband? He's still in there. Please help. Having you burned to death is more fun than having you walk away. I'm learning a lot about you. Oh, it's getting spicy now. Nailed it. Slumped in the corner of a room, you find the woman's husband. You put his arm on your shoulder and quickly make your way out of the inferno. As you emerge, the woman and her children rush to the man's side and embrace him. Thank you, adventurer. You've saved my family from certain death, the woman says.
Nicely done.
I was scared we were going to go without a token. So we're down a companion, we're down a little bit of health, but we've got fame, which is going to... Well, I mean, we already have it, so hammer time. While our possessions have been destroyed, we will never be able to repay you. And we will never be able to repay you. Know that we will speak of your deeds here today for as long as we all shall live.
The longest night, and a symbol of the deepest matters. You would do well to attend to the things that happen here.
On the longest night of winter, the townsfolk of Stygial set up around a huge bonfire to celebrate the victory of light over darkness. The one night the Empire turns a blind eye to the outlawed use of magic. You join a group of peasants close to the fire. Taking a sip, the woman beside you offers you a goblet. You politely accept the pungent potion and take a quick swig. Warmth rushes through your body, and you fall into a deep hypnotic trance as you stare into the dancing flames. The townsfolk chant, calling on the mountain spirits. In a flurry of snow, spirits descend and join the festivity. A curious white owl perches next to you and speaks. I sense a magical air about you. If you feel particularly inclined, will you share your blessings in exchange for longevity? He nuzzles against your arm and awaits your response. You may trade blessing for max life. I'll put this to a vote, and I'm going to check my inventory while I'm doing it. So that's what we would be giving up. Interesting. See, I was thinking that give him one blessing would be a good option because we're already at the end of the map. So in this case, we're not actually losing anything. The creature lets out an ear-piercing squawk. A tingling sensation flows through your body. You gaze into the flames as the festivities continue around you. You wake to find yourself in a stable nestled among the herd of cows. On your way out, you spot a few unconscious Empire guards huddled together outside the stable. Ah, I thought I was going to get the token from... Actually, I was less worried about the max health and more interested in seeing if I could get the token, but apparently I did not, so... You find yourself at the trader's camp. All hail the defender of villagers, the traders cheer. Come, make camp and join us. Food for sale is refreshed, equipment for sale is refreshed. So we're just going to take a quick minute here and see... well, in this case, I'll cook the food, just because I probably would have... Actually, I would have gotten it at the Sanctum anyway, so that was silly. Buy equipment. Is there anything... Okay, do I want the Valiant Aegis? Good question. I've got the Bastion of Purification. I actually don't remember if there's... Oops. I just want the info on it. Defend adds 1 to the weapon charge. So this would... It's kind of better, but I really don't care. Yeah, we'll leave all this as is. So I actually did not need to do any of this camping.
You have prepared yourself for this battle. Now you must face it, but not alone, perhaps.
It is as the Talos Elder had described. The Shaman's Sanctum is protected by a magical barrier preventing you from advancing. Stop. Hammer time. You raise Hrathia's ire above your head and bring it down against the magical wall with all your might. The hammer finds its mark, and now you are immediately engulfed. Oh, that's right, because I've got a double-handed weapon anyway. I shouldn't have bought that shield. Finds its mark, and you're immediately engulfed in a blizzard of snow and ice. The howling winds spin you this way and that, then vanish as quickly as they had appeared. Disoriented, you look around for Malaclips, but he is nowhere to be found. You find your bearings and realize you are standing in a forest clearing covered in newly fallen snow. You step back and bump into something. Turning, you see a towering northern clansman, bald and brutal.
He has brute strength, if nothing else.
He does not flinch, nor seems to have even the slightest bit of interest in you. He stands with weapons drawn and brow lowered. You turn to follow his gaze. Then you see her, sitting on a throne of wicker and thorns, small straw-plated charms and oddities hanging from the trees behind her. Before her kneel countless raiders, worshipping their leader in eerie stillness. The defender of villages and the exiled one, the shaman says with a hiss. She steps down from her throne. I know why you've come. Let this end. I hope you know how to fight, hero, says the bald northerner calmly. There are more warriors here than we can kill. To defeat a snake, you must cut off its head. You ready your weapon as the shaman and her clansmen surround you. I'm assuming yes, MRA, but we'll find out in just a second. Raid Leader Gerda. Raid leaders are in the front lines of the Northern Assault, centers of tactical and religious guidance. The shaman casts spells that heal her allies. Attack her quickly to interrupt the spell. Yeah, quickly with the hammer.
I do not help you.
Damn it.
Stand clear of my blades. I will stand clear of yours.
Alright, I love this weapon so much. That was very satisfying. Screwed up. Get out of there! The shaman's body writhes as a dark spirit leaves her chest and vanishes into the air. The remaining raiders flee into the forest. As the skies clear, the sun beams down on the colossal warrior that had fought alongside you. I am Colburn, he explains. I was born into the northern clans, but I am clanless now. You do not know us, but we were not always like this. Perhaps one day the clans will return to the tradition that they have lost. You have befriended Colborn the Wanderer. Nope, not that much at all, MRA. I rolled into a corner when I shouldn't have, but... You and I have cleared a small part of the stain from my honor this day. If you call, I will answer. He reaches out a massive hand and clasps your forearm. Let us head back and find your friend. And with that, you and I guess it's Kolbjorn, make your way back through the forest in search of Malaclips.
Another card returns to my deck. Do not worry. I have more challenges before you will be ready to face my foe. Well done. Another northerner falls before you, and a new companion joins your journey.
For defeating the Shaman of the North, we get the Armor of Gluttony, the Ring of Food, pious robes, and a frontier barbet. We also get Fame and Shame, the Watchtower, a Raider's Ambush, and a Bridge Skirmish. For proving yourself a worthy hero, we get Hrethez Ire. For befriending Kolbjorn, we get Clan Eyebright and the Wanderer. For defending all of the villages, we get the Elder's Gift. You have unlocked these encounters. Bitter Winter. Okay.
You've done well. You understand the basic rules of the game now. From here, they will change.
Oh, this actually sounds like a good kind of a good break point anyway. So thank you to all of you who wanted to give me 20 extra coin. I'm actually done for tonight. Oh, I guess I'm young now. Thank you so much for saying that. This was a lot of fun. Let me just run the credits while we do this. It'd be nice if there was some music for it, but unfortunately there is not. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't actually expecting on streaming today, but I am extremely happy that I did. Let me just take a minute. I'm going to tab out of the game and see if I can find the Steam page. Hand of Fate 2. So obviously the Steam sale just finished for those of you who want to sit back and wait. This game is not too expensive on its own. Canadian, it is $29.99, so about $30. If you want to buy the game and all of the DLC, you are looking at $44.42. So the game is, I think, very fairly priced. Is the game... Okay. Apparently, I don't know if I just canceled the credits doing that or what, but we'll let that run by again. This has been great. I mean, again, I owe a very special thank you to Johnny Big Time for buying me this game. I believe he actually got it for my birthday way back when, and I somewhat regret taking so long to do this game now, but number one, I wanted to make sure that I finished the first Hand of Fate, which I did, and then I've been going through all of these other games, including things like Darkest Dungeon and XCOM, and then I want to get back to Night Team 4. So my promise to you is this: I have every intention of going back to this game, and I am not going to play this on my own. And that's going to do two things for me. Number one, it's going to make me want to stream this again because it's going to be the way that I experience this game again. But number two, that also means that you're going to get the experience of seeing the game sooner. Like you're going to see everything that I experienced through it. And you don't need to worry about like missing anything. Obviously, if I stream and you're not available to watch it, the VODs are always going to be on YouTube and all of that. If you want to know when I'm playing the game, I usually announce what I'm playing on Twitter. If you want me to start mentioning that in the Discord, I can do that as well. And then, of course, you can turn on the notifications on the stream. But I wanted to take a minute here and say thank you to all of you for hanging out. Again, I'm never 100% sure as to whether or not the times when I say like I want a break and then I wind up streaming. There's always that uncertainty that I have about it, but I absolutely do not regret doing this at all. This was a great time, and I owe all of you a big thank you for making it so special. Again, not every birthday stream winds up being a good one. Last year was actually a rather miserable time, all told. But you guys made this a particularly special one, so thank you for that. And thank you to thank you to Johnny and Defiant for making such an enjoyable game. Let me just find somebody to host real quick, and we will be able to finish it off. And again, if you have any interest in this game, if you don't want to pick it up right now, if you want to wait for a sale, please do consider wishlisting that game, because it's easy to forget this sort of stuff, and I definitely think this is worth it. So we've got a few people here right now. We've got, honestly, like, I would love to host, actually, you know what? They're so close. It's been a while since I've had a chance to host Octavian Zero, and Octavian is streaming a game I like quite a bit. So Octavian Zero is a bigger streamer. He's somebody that the Eyes of Sin got me in touch with, and he normally streams Path of Exile, but he is doing Risk of Rain 2 right now. Risk of Rain 2 is a fantastic game. If you've played the first one, it's a very good 3D adaptation of that game. Definitely hang around. Octavian's a really cool guy, definitely very supportive of my stream, and obviously I'm a smaller streamer, so that is definitely saying a lot. That somebody like him is deigns to stop by and visit. As for me, just a heads up in terms of what's going to be happening in the week. No stream Wednesday. I am going to be at Dirty Rectangles. Friday, I need to sort out what I'm going to be streaming. And I will do my best to try and see what's going on the weekend, but it's worth remembering, like, I'm back on proper track for all this stuff. I'm going to be back at work after tomorrow. So no promises that I'll be able to do some weekend streams, but definitely if Defiant's stopping by and I really feel a hankering to do Hand of Fate 2, I'm also not going to turn down the opportunity to pick up some more stuff. So, hey, K5, thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm just wrapping up right now. I'm actually going to be hosting Octavian Zero, but thank you very much for saying that. I'm sorry I couldn't stream more, but there's always the VOD. So it was a really wonderful birthday, and not least of which for all these people being so kind during the stream. But I don't want to deny Octavian the small handful of viewers that I can toss him. So if you guys don't mind, I'm going to hit that host button right now. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you to, as well, Casual Nothing. Thank you to all of you wishing me the happy birthday. I'm still gonna chuck it over to the good Octavian Zero Man, and I hope you all enjoy Risk of Rain 2. We will see you next time, and thank you again.